0562. What's the best way to transform your next gathering or event?
You want to look at that?
T-shirts. Custom-made T-shirts that you design online with custom ink. Whether a big game, reunion, charity fundraiser, with custom ink, any occasion becomes a memorable event.
Thanks, Custom Ink!
On-time delivery is guaranteed, and we'll even ship your order absolutely free.
Start designing your custom ink T-shirts today and see why 99% of our customers say they would order from us again. CustomInk.com.
You should see the top 5. There's a blind draw.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in a world of my creation. What we'll see will defy explanation. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. Want to change the world, there's nothing to it. There is no life I know to compare with your imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly wish to.
1 minute.
Okay, 1 minute, Jerry.
You will ready to go in your mind. There's a world of fascination. No
Yep, I got it.
more fun place to be than in your imagination. You
Score needs to be recited. That last Friday's up there.
any dream you can save.
Are you on the chat for them?
Yeah, I let him know.
Sensational sensation.
Stand by.
If you want to see magic light.
Football on AM 1220 KLBB. We thank you for listening and please support our sponsors. Cameron Kelly Law, First State Bank and Trust, Stillwater Motors, McGarry Kearney Insurance, Lakeview Health, Ed Simonette Attorney at Law, Central Bank, Kate's Fine Homes, New Richmond Insurance, First State Bank of River Falls, Eckberg Lammers Attorneys at Law, Victoriano's New York Pizza, Miller Excavating, Carr and Housley Homes. AM 1220 is proud to bring you Stillwater Ponies football. Let's join Tim Daigle at the stadium. Stillwater Ponies football. Let's join Tim Daigle at the stadium. Stillwater Ponies football. Let's join Tim Daigle at the stadium. Stillwater Ponies football. Let's join Tim Daigle at the stadium.
Welcome to AM 12. Welcome to AM 12. Welcome to AM 12. Mounds view would take a break. We're going to come back and we're take a break. We're going to cover Stillwater and Mounds view. You're listening to Ponies football on KLBB. Stillwater and Mounds view. You're listening to Ponies football on KLBB.
River Falls is a stable.
Turn this down. I couldn't even concentrate.
They'll work to give you a mortgage that's right for you and your family for the long term. Don't miss out on this historic opportunity. Call the mortgage specialists at the First National Bank of River Falls today. Equal housing lender. Tailgate checklist. Cooler? Check.
Audition was
Chips?
on. Sorry,
Check.
guys.
Hot dogs?
Yeah, let's come
Check.
back after this.
Stillwater Ponies hoodie? Check. Insurance from the McGarry County Agency? Check. This season, protect your team with insurance from the McGarry County Insurance Agency and Auto Owners Insurance. The no problem people. Call the McGarry County Insurance Agency at 651-439-6345. That's 651-439-6345. For more than 100 years, the McGarry County Agency on North Main Street in Stillwater. 100 years. The McGarry County Agency on North Main Street in Stillwater. 100 years.
Welcome back to Stillwater Ponies football on AM 1220 KLBB. I'm Tim Daigle at Pony Stadium. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Fantastic Suburban East Conference matchup as the 3-1 Stillwater Ponies, ranked number 7 in the state of Minnesota, host the number 4 ranked Mounds Mustangs, who come in 4-0 and in first place in the Suburban East Conference. So the Ponies looking to be victorious tonight and grab a share of that Suburban East Conference first place on their way to a Suburban East Conference title, hopefully. Well, last week, let's just briefly talk about the victory for Stillwater last week, a 48-0 victory over Forest Lake. The big news coming out of that one, however, was the injury to quarterback Nate Ritchie, who went out with an ankle injury after a 45-yard punt return with 35 seconds remaining in the first half, and he did not return. So Trevor Tillett, the backup quarterback, will be starting tonight as Nate Ritchie is in street clothes. And now I bring in my color commentator tonight, Jerry Otto. And if you're a resident of the Twin Cities, you may have heard his voice, I know, through public access on Roseville Public Access. He does a lot of Roseville sports amongst Mounds View and the area districts as well. And Jerry, you had a chance covering Roseville and Mounds View last week. What should the Ponies be aware of or wary of this strong Mounds View team tonight?
Well, Jim Galvin has found a system that has certainly worked out well for the Mustangs for quite some time. And it's pretty vanilla. It's breathtakingly basic. You'll see a lot of counters. You'll see a lot of off-tackle runs. You'll see an occasional play-action pass to keep the defense honest. And unfortunately for Trevor Tillett, he's going to have a bit of a trial by fire tonight, in that Mounds View has the best passing defense in the Suburban East Conference and one of the better ones in the Metro. So not an easy first start here for the junior quarterback.
Yeah, that's for sure. As Trevor Tillett comes in, last week was his only game action of the season, throwing 3 of 9 for 34 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Let's remember, though, when he was playing, the Ponies were up at halftime by the score of 34-0. So things were definitely in hand for the Ponies, and they were really on cruise control at that point. With Nate Ritchie, you not only lose the arm of Nate Ritchie, but maybe more importantly is the speed and athleticism of Nate Ritchie as well. Nate Ritchie was 26 of 45 through the air for 351 yards, a 58% completion percentage, 3 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. And then rushing the ball, Ritchie had ran the ball 47 times for 251. That's a 5.3 yard average with 2 touchdowns as well. But with that, still on the Ponies side, they still have Nick Anderson, who is certainly their workhorse on the ground. Nick Anderson, the senior, 75 rushes for 396, a 5.3 yard average. He has 7 touchdowns on the season. His longest was a 59-yarder.
Now, Mounds View is a different setup than what Stillwater has. Of course, Nick Anderson, I can tell you from experience last year, is an outstanding running back, and he will be a tough test for the Mounds View defense tonight. The Mustangs usually like to go with 3 running backs in the backfield at the same time, and at least against Roseville, they also had Matt Hunt and Matt Harding, who scored a touchdown. But the 3 main running backs are all seniors: T.J. Horn, Austin Smestad, and especially Jeremy Redmond. and he really hurt Roseville through the air last week for a 48-yard touchdown reception that put Mounds View ahead of Roseville early on.
Well, the teams have warmed up, and the Ponies have won the coin toss. They elected to defer, so they will be kicking off to the Mustangs to begin the game. We're in pregame here, just getting set to be underway on a beautiful night for Friday night football. It's the 3-1 Stillwater Ponies hosting the 4-0 Mounds View Mustangs. More to come. Stay tuned. You're listening to Pony Football on KLBB.
Marty Foote here for Kate's Fine Homes. Little ponies grow up fast, so when my family needed a bigger home, we called Kate's Fine Homes. The Kate's family has been building and remodeling award-winning homes since 1970. Owners Jennifer, Jay, and Jeff are all Stillwater grads. Homes don't build themselves. It takes a great relationship between you and the builder to bring your dreams to life. Kate's Fine Homes puts relationships first, and it shows. From design to framing and finishing, our project was a complete success. Give your little pony some room to grow. Visit katesfinehomes.com and build a new dream for your family.
In the community. We enjoy an excellent quality of life here in the St. Croix Valley, thanks in part to programs like Pony Sports. Please join us at Carr and Housley Homes to support our ponies this season.
This is Peter Clements, President of First State Bank and Trust. People often ask us, what makes First State Bank and Trust such a safe, secure, and special financial institution? Our answer is simple. It's our people. It's true that we have competitive rates, and we also offer insurance, trust, estate, and financial planning services. But in the end, we think it's the people of First State Bank and Trust that make the difference.
In Bayport, Oak Park Heights, Boutwell's Landing, Stillwater, and Hudson, safe, sound, secure. Since 1914, First State Bank and Trust, an equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Ed Simonette was once a member of the Stillwater Ponies himself, and Ed is still involved in the Stillwater community where he practices law today. If you have a legal concern, Ed Simonette is the person to see. Ed specializes in criminal law, personal injury, wrongful death, and family matters. Call Ed at 651-439-5875. That's 651-439-5875. Remember, for all of your legal concerns, call a person who cares and can help. Ed Simonette, attorney at law in Stillwater.
This is the home of Stillwater Ponies Athletics. AM 1220 KLBB, Stillwater.
Welcome back to Stillwater Pony Football on AM 1220 KLBB. Pregame here at Pony Stadium. It's the 3-1 Stillwater Ponies, tied for second in the Suburban East Conference as they're taking on 4-0, and first in the conference, the Mounds View Mustangs. National anthem just getting set to be underway, so let's take one more 90-second timeout. We'll be back for kickoff. It's Suburban East Conference right here on KLBB.
Miller Excavating is a locally owned and operated family business that has served the St. Croix Valley since 1957. Pete and Marilyn Miller are happy to announce that, in addition to grandson Steve St. Clair, grandson Scott St. Clair has joined Miller Excavating too. Miller Excavating is truly a family business, and they're proud to sponsor Pony Football. For excellence, dependability, and the very best in residential and commercial grading, excavating, road building, trucking, and aggregate material, call Miller Excavating at 651-439-1637.
Who needs coffee? Energize your commute with the 2013 Chevy Sonic at Stillwater Motors. The all-new Chevy Sonic packs a ton of fun in a well-priced subcompact car. It starts with a peppy 1.8-liter engine that delivers 138 horsepower at 35 highway miles to the gallon. Next, add Sonic's sporty suspension with the perfect balance of fun and comfort. Outside, notice Sonic's superior fit and finish, featuring standard alloy wheels. The interior takes design cues from a high-performance motorcycle with a large round tachometer front and center. Adjust the tilt and telescoping steering wheel for the perfect fit. And finally, don't forget safety. Sonic is loaded with 10 airbags, anti-lock brakes, and electronic stability control. Get your Sonic in a 4-door sedan or a sporty 5-door hatchback. The 2013 Chevy Sonic at Stillwater Motors. You'll never need coffee again. Highway 36 at Stillwater Boulevard. Online at stillwatermotors.com. Madam's family owned and operated since 1922.
Stillwater Motors, good people to know.
Are you looking for building materials, home furnishings, or a place to donate unwanted items? Restore New Richmond is where to turn. The Restore is a 501c3 organization open to the public Wednesday through Saturday. For a donation pickup, contact St. Croix Valley Habitat for Humanity in New Richmond at 715-246-4441.
Welcome back to Stillwater Pony Football on AM 1220. KLBB, Tim Daigle with you at Pony Stadium. Alongside me is Jerry Otto as we bring you Suburban East Conference football. 4-0 Stillwater, or 4-0 Mounds View Mustangs taking on the 3-1 Stillwater Ponies. Let's take a look at the starting lineups, if we may, as the Ponies set to kick off. So we'll announce the defensive starters for the Ponies. On the line, Sebastian Borges, Marvin Leroll, Zach Jelinek, and Mitchell Schertz. The linebackers are Sam Hednefield, Matt Ogren, and Cody Floan. And in the secondary, Jason Klydosty, Grant Modine, Aaron Rom-Portal, and Connor O'Neill. The head coach for the Stillwater Ponies is Bo Labor. And on the offense for Mounds View, on the line, Keith Kubicek, Paul Sharkey, Sam Kimball, David Lee, and Josh Birch. The tight end is Gabe Dargis. And the wide receiver, Matt Knutson. Running backs, Austin Smested, Jeremy Redmond, and TJ Horn. And the quarterback for the Mustangs. Had two horses tonight, so
right.
Gets a little confusing. Mitch Frederickson, the senior, 6 feet, 165. He's going to be under center for the Mounds View Mustangs. As we mentioned, they do kind of have a three-headed monster in that backfield, looking at Smested, Redmond, and Horn. They all have about the same number of carries. Horn has 40 carries, Smested has 37, and Redmond has 35. And none of them have recorded a touchdown from what I can gather either, as Matt Knutson has 4 touchdowns. So kind of interesting, as Mounds View, they certainly like to keep the ball on the ground, but they will trickle in the pass, as Mounds View is 6th in offense. They're 3rd rushing and 6th passing, as Stillwater is 9th on offense, 4th rushing, and 6th in passing.
And also, Tim, you have the two best scoring defenses in the Suburban East tonight. Mounds View just giving up over 10 points a game. They're first in the conference, and Stillwater not too far behind them, giving up 16 points a game.
As they had a couple horses out on the field, looks like they had to bring the groundskeepers out. I see the pail and the rake out there, so kind of neat to see not only the horses on the field, but the Stillwater Ponies. They have new pants on tonight. Typically, they have the white pants with the red and black stripes down the sides, and the Ponies sporting a new look here tonight. So the Ponies in their home red uniforms with traditional white helmets, but now they've got the black pants and black socks, kind of showing a little meaner look, whereas the Mounds View Mustangs in their home white, they have that forest green helmet with an MV on the side, green numbers, and green pants. So, Jerry, let's just quickly talk about maybe the keys to this game. What do you think Stillwater needs to do, and what does Mounds View need to do to come out victorious here tonight?
Well, certainly you would figure it'll be a heavy dose of Nick Anderson to start out with Stillwater. When you have a junior quarterback going up against a pretty experienced defense, you want to try and give him a good security blanket, and Nick Anderson can certainly do that. If you can get a few first downs, move the chains, keep the clock going, that would certainly, I think, take a lot of the pressure off of junior Trevor Tillett. For Mounds View, you would figure they'll just keep on doing what they've been doing. What was really dangerous last week in Mounds View's 28-14 win over Roseville, they kind of lull you to a false sense of security with their short runs, off tackles, counter trays, and the like. And then Jeremy Redmond, the running back, came out of the backfield for a 48-yard touchdown reception, far and away his biggest one of the year. And when Roseville thought they had Mounds View pinned back deep on their own 13-yard line, all of a sudden Max Knutson gets behind the Roseville secondary and goes for an 87-yard touchdown, as he's the second leading receiver in the Suburban East, and he's far and away their main target, so he's going to be a man for the Stillwater secondary to really watch out for tonight.
These teams are certainly no strangers to each other, as they've played each other since 1956, if you can believe it, when Mounds View became a high school back in the day. And really, Stillwater has a bad taste in their mouth, as I believe Mounds View has ended Stillwater's season the last 4 years.
And also the Mustangs have won 9 of the last 10 meetings against Stillwater, so I'm sure some revenge on the minds of the Ponies here tonight.
So here we go as Danny Laudette, the kicker, high, sideways spinner. It's going to bounce midway in the end zone, automatic touchback for high school rules. And so the Mounds View offense comes out onto the field. Mitch Fredrickson, number 1, will be leading this offense. As we take a look, thanks a lot. Don't forget, we're also streaming this audio on klbbradio.com and stillwaterponies.com. That's klbbradio.com. If you have any questions or comments about this game, shoot me an email, tim@klbbradio.com. That's tim@klbbradio.com. Fredrickson under center, looks to pass, throws it, left side, caught. That's his favorite receiver, Knutson, all the way out to the 40-41-yard line. Looks like a gain of 20 on the first play of the game. Just a quick out to Knutson on the left side, and the Mustangs are on the move.
Well, Stillwater was keying on the run. They had 8 men between the tackles and a little slant as Knutson came in, and you can see why he's one of the best receivers in the Suburban East. A really nice route there by the senior Max Knutson.
Same formation, pro set, handoff, horn up the middle. He's got a gash, and straight up the middle, wide open. Big blocking all the way into Ponies territory to the 45-yard line. A 15-yard gain for TJ Horn. And in 2 plays, the Mustangs have gone 35 yards.
And again, Mounds View's running game, very formidable. They usually just like to rattle off chunks of 4, 5, or 6 yards, and if they can break a longer one, like TJ Horn did on that 17-yarder, it's going to be a long night for Stillwater.
Redmond checks out. Olateju comes in, and it's a handoff, left side, around the corner. O'Neill with wrapping him up, but unable to take him down. It looks like another 10-yard gain for Olateju around the left side to the Ponies' 35-yard line. So a 10-yard gain as Mounds View has started off with gains of, I believe, 15 and 10.
20, 15, and 10.
Yeah.
Getting your first 3 plays from scrimmage. Again, I think Mounds View also trying to make a bit of a statement tonight. They had a couple of off games, at least by their standards, against Eastridge and Roseville.
Horn up the middle on 1st and 10, and he's ran right into by Cody Flown. Right at the line, give him a gain of 2 on the play. And it's 2nd down and 8, 10:23 remaining here in the first quarter. No score. Opening drive of the ball game as Mounds View started on their own 20. Beautiful moon rising on the east. Looks almost full, if it isn't already full, on this 70-degree night. Beautiful night for high school football. Fredrickson under center, back to pass, looking near side. Knutson on an inside slant, caught to the 20, down to the 17-yard line. That's a gain of 16 on the play, and another Mounds View first down.
Grant Modine there on the tackle, and I was a little surprised. You wonder if maybe sometime here later in the game Stillwater might have to start double covering Knutson as quickly. 2 receptions for 35 yards.
So it brings up 1st down and 10 on the 18-yard line of Stillwater. They fake the inside handoff, and now Smested trying to come around the right side, and he's ran into by Sebastian Borges. Good tackle by Borges. Looks like no gain on the play. Bring up 2nd down and 10 on the Ponies' 18.
So Knutson checking back in for Mounds View, as is Jesse Bondi here. As Mounds View with an impressive first drive here, but Stillwater's defense starting to make an impact.
2 wide receivers as Knutson is wide out left. Pony showing blitz up the middle with Klydowski. Here they come. It's a quick out to Knutson. One-on-one coverage inside the 5. Enough for a first down, but a touchdown saving tackle on the outside.
Yeah, that was Modine again, as it appears as though he's going to be the man that tries to cover Knutson most of the night. But again, it's awfully difficult to defend those passes because you're afraid he might get by you into the end zone, and instead a quick hitter, and he still gets about 7 or 8 yards after the catch.
First down and goal on the 5. Fredrickson calling out the signals. Hands off. Horn, left side, stood up right at the line of scrimmage. Shirts, looks like Ogren, number 6, in on the tackle. And the Ponies front trying to prevent the Mustangs from an opening drive touchdown. So it brings up second and goal on the 5. 8 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. No score. Fumble! As Fredrickson lost the handle from the center quarterback exchange. Looks like he's able to fall on it. A loss on the play. They spot the ball on the 7, so a loss of 2, and now brings up third down and goal to go. That's a nice break for the Ponies there, as now it
certainly
brings up third down on the 7. In the pro set, Smested to the left and Horn to the right. Redmond goes in motion left. They fake the handoff to pass to the left side. Caught and just out at the 1. That is Smested on the 1 yard line. So head coach Jim Galvin for the Mustangs has his first important decision to make here. Fourth down and goal on the 1. What do you do, Jerry?
It certainly looks like they're going to go for it. I suppose with Mounds View's offensive line, you figure their chances are decent of converting probably about half of a yard, but an awfully big play here with 7:12 left to go in the first quarter.
So here we go. They pack it in, everyone up on the line. 3 men in the backfield. They give it to the third one. Up the middle, touchdown. Looked like that was their fullback.
I think it might have been Redmond. It was kind of difficult to tell.
Who was that? 13?
Matt Harding. He had his first touchdown of the year last week against the Roseville Raiders.
So the extra point kick is up, and it is good. 7:09 remaining here in the first quarter. Mounds View goes 80 yards on the opening drive, and they take a 7-0 lead. Let's take a 30-second timeout on Club 1220 KLBB.
Victoriano's New York Pizza is tired of the plain old pepperoni, cheese, and sausage. We got New York names for New York pizzas, like the Barbecue, Minnie the Moocher, Sammy the Bull, and my personal favorite, the Forget About It Pizza. Victoriano's Pizza is large, delicious, and offers free delivery. Victoriano's is located in the Isaac Staples Sawmill Building in downtown Stillwater. Call Victoriano's at 651-430-3700. And don't forget to ask about their calzones, stromboli, pastas, and breakfast. Victoriano's, a taste of New York. Anytime.
Welcome back to Stillwater Ponies football on Club 1220 KLBB. Tim Daigle alongside Jerry Otto here at Pony Stadium on the campus of Stillwater High School, and Mounds View takes the opening drive 80 yards in 4 minutes and 51 seconds, and they take a 7-0 lead as the ball bounces at about the 10 or 15 and goes end over end, actually hits the pylon as the Stillwater player, Nick Anderson, over there, checking to see if it was going to go out of bounds or not, but the Mustangs actually catch a break as it goes into the end zone for the touchback.
Yeah, that's 15 yards that Stillwater would have liked to have had, but a favorable bounce there for Mounds View. Matt Harding doesn't have too many rushing yards for Mounds View, but the ones he have had have been effective. they all are pretty good-sized running backs, but he's the biggest of them at 215 pounds, and I think that helped him there on the goal line.
So Trevor Tillett behind center. Nick Anderson right up the middle. Runs into his own guy. That was Anders Sandstrom at the 25-yard line, but a nice gain. A gain of 5 for Nick Anderson, the starting tailback for the Ponies on this offense. On the line, you're going to see Austin Connery, Nick Brevitz, Anders Sandstrom, Peter Palachek, and Ryan Pelletier. On the line, Alex Burback, the tight end, in motion. Goes to the left side, strong side. I formation. Anderson up the middle. He's got a nice hole. Past the 35 to about the 36-yard line. A gain of 11 and a Pony first down. I believe that was his fullback, David Peterson, leading the way, clearing out the linebacker and opening up a nice hole.
Ethan DeCaster, the defensive back, was the man in on the tackle.
Now a handoff to Anderson, trying to get around the near side, the left side, as the Pony's going right to left across your radio dial or computer screen, and unable to get around the edge. This can actually be a loss of 2 on the play. Brings it back to the 35-yard line, and 2nd and 12 for the Ponies on the 35. 6 minutes and counting remaining in the first quarter. Ponies trail 7-0. Now Tillett rolls out to the right, looking downfield. Toss, tipped and intercepted at the 45-yard line. That's Harding all the way back. I beg your pardon. Was that Logan Kahlers?
I think it might have been Andrew Thomas, number 21.
Nevertheless, the Mustangs on a tip.
And it wasn't a bad throw by Tillett. He had a receiver open, but you're right, Tim, it was tipped and went right into the waiting arms of the Mounds View secondary. And now they start off on the 45 of Stillwater.
5:46 remaining here in the first quarter, and Mounds View in excellent field position on the Ponies' 45-yard line. 2 men in the backfield. Redmond gets the handoff left side. Gets around the corner. Out to the 40, 39-yard line. Sebastian Borges in the vicinity. They spotted at the 39-yard line. A gain of 6, and it brings up 2nd down and 4. Max Knutson goes wide right. Fredrickson under center. Pony showing blitz. They hand it off right into the blitz. Great defensive call by the Ponies. Cody Flown along with Connor O'Neill, as TJ Horn never had a chance. So good defensive play there by the Ponies. A loss of 1 on the play brings up 3rd down and 5 on the Ponies' 40.
Well, you would figure, again, this might be a time for Mounds View to look for Max Knutson, and you hope that he gets some deep help here, or at least the Stillwater defenders do.
Especially with Sam Hodnefield out there, and he intercepts it! The linebacker on Sam Knutson, or Max Knutson, and he gets the interception. I was thinking, wow, this is a mismatch right here. You got a wide receiver against a linebacker, and lo and behold, Sam Hodnefield with the interception.
One of the 4 captains for Stillwater this year, making a really smart move. He saw that Knutson was doing a down and out, so he jumped the route, cut in front of the senior Mounds View receiver, and picked it off. And a big turnover in favor of Stillwater. They start out on their own 31.
That's the 2nd interception for Hodnefield this season. So Tillett under center, looking to pass right side high. Incomplete, looking for Chris Rick on an inside slant route at the 45. And that brings up 2nd down and 10 as he displays the arm strength. Does Trevor Tillett, but it was a little high.
Yeah, he certainly put a little too much mustard on that one, but a big turnover for Stillwater as 2 interceptions in the span of just a couple of minutes.
So they flood the left side with 2 wide receivers. Now Anderson up the middle. Gets up to about the 35-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 6. Certainly on the season, Joey Quinn, who is split out He's been a nice surprise for the Ponies in the wide receiver area. 10 receptions for 178 yards and 2 touchdowns so far this season. 3rd down and 6 on the 35. Tillett under center. Short 5-step drop. Right in and out of the hands of Chris Rick. But it was a short route, and he would have been hard-pressed to even get the first down as the ball was, intended at about the 38. They needed to get to the 41. Incomplete pass brings up 4th down and 6.
And the D-back was right there with him, so, yeah, you're right, Tim. To get three extra yards out of that would have been difficult anyway.
So Frenchie, Danny Laudette, set to punt. He's standing on his own 20. Max Knutson at his own 30, set to receive. High spiral kick. It's going to be taken at the 26-yard line. Makes one juke, gets past 2 Pony players, and now he breaks to the near side. 40, midfield, where he's ran out of bounds near midfield by the punter, Danny Laudette, at about the 48-yard line.
So 22-yard return by Knutson, and we didn't see it that much in last week's game. Roseville did not have too many opportunities to punt, but there's no denying Knutson's talent.
Yeah, I think he's 3rd in the SEC in receiving yards. Also, I believe he's going to be handling the punting duties here tonight, as we have not yet seen that. 2 men in the backfield. Fredrickson under center. Handoff, Horn up the middle. It's about 2. A number of players in on the tackle, including Borges and Marvin Leroll, right into the teeth of this Pony defense.
TJ Horn with as many carries as the rest of the running backs combined. He has 5 so far on the night for 16 yards.
So it brings up 2nd down and 8, right at midfield. 3:14 remaining here in this first quarter. Mounds View leading 7-0. Fredrickson under center. 1-man split out left. That's Knutson. They fake the handoff. Fredrickson rolls out to his left. Throws downfield. He's got a man as Dargis, and he overthrows him. It looked like Dargis kind of got tripped up in his own feet as well, as he had gotten clear behind the secondary. It looked like Modine as well as O'Neill back deep, but Dargis, the tight end, boy, if that pass was a little deep, but I think Dargis kind of lost his step. Otherwise, he would have been clear for a big gainer.
Yeah, this is surprising for Mounds View's offense. They are certainly shaking things up a bit. 6 pass attempts already on the night. Mitch Fredrickson completed his first 4 and was looking like he was on a roll, but then the really nice interception by Hodnefield, but also a really good chance there for Dargis to maybe get a touchdown.
So it brings up 3rd down and 8 for Mounds View at midfield. 3 wide receivers, and now Redmond goes in motion left, make it 4. Fakes the throw, now Fredrickson under duress. Goes to his left, throws downfield, he's got a man wide open, caught inside the 10-5. That's Redmond, who is left all alone behind the Pony defense, and he's tackled at the 4.
That's the exact same thing that happened in the Roseville game last week. Jeremy Redmond, who is not known for his receiving ability, snuck behind the secondary, and lightning strikes twice in the same week as a big reception by the big running back. Not a play you would expect to see.
A gain of 46 for Mounds View now makes it 1st down and goal on the 4 with 2:31 remaining here in the first quarter. They have that 3 wide running back set once again. And they hand it off this time to Horn. Right side around the corner, touchdown. TJ Horn from 4 yards out has given the Mustangs a 13-0 lead. So this is certainly not the start that the Ponies were hoping for. As they came out, I was looking at one stat, and last week the Ponies scored 20 points against Forest Lake, and that was the first points they had scored in the first quarter, as the extra point is good. I'll continue my thought in a moment. 2:22 remaining here in the first quarter. It's all Mounds View, 14-0. You're listening to Ponies Football on KLBB.
When you need legal advice, turn to Eckberg Lammers, attorneys at law. Eckberg Lammers is one of the largest and most respected law firms in Washington County with more than 60 years of proven results. Just like the Stillwater Ponies, Eckberg Lammers takes pride in their experienced team and balanced theories of practice. Eckberg Lammers is a full-service law firm for both businesses and individuals and proud to support the Stillwater Ponies, serving the East Metro and Western Wisconsin since 1949. Eckberg Lammers, attorneys at law. Call 651-439-2878.
Welcome back to Stillwater Pony Football on Club 1220 KLBB. TJ Horn from 4 yards out. Extra point is good, and with 2:22 remaining here in the first quarter, Mounds View leads 14-0, capping a 4-play, 52-yard drive that was highlighted by the 46-yard pass and throw, Fredrickson to TJ Redmond, all the way down to the 4. High short kick. It's going to be taken at the 8 by Anderson. Gets up to the 20, and that's where the Ponies offense will come back out onto the field. So the Ponies have put themselves in a hole early. They certainly want to come down and sustain a drive, as this Mounds View offense certainly, not only have they put points on the board, but they've had some longer drives as well, as the Ponies defense certainly has been out there a long time.
Well, again, Mounds View's pass offense coming into tonight, 6th in the SEC, not known for their deep ability, but hitting Redmond big has opened this game up, at least for the time being.
Anderson, run behind the right tackle, following behind Peterson, and he manages to get a couple, and that's going to bring up 2nd down and 8 for the Ponies.
Nick Anderson, all 5 carries on the ground for Stillwater, and he has 21 yards so far here in the first quarter.
So Trevor Tillett under center, strong side left, a toss to Anderson, finds a hole, cuts in, nice vision by Anderson, past the 25 to the 27-yard line, a gain of 5. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 3, as the Ponies showing a lot of different looks here, running the ball here tonight.
Well, Mounds View's defense is number 1 in the conference in scoring, and now certainly one thing you want to do is try and keep them guessing.
3rd down and 3, I formation straight up the middle. Anderson, he's got the 1st down and more, all the way out to the 42-yard line, being assisted by Chris Rick, his wide receiver. A gain of 17, about 16 on the play, but a crucial 1st down for the Ponies on 3rd and 3. So Nick Anderson continues to be the workhorse here tonight, and nothing surprising about that, as he gets the call once again, straight up the middle, cuts to the outside, just got tripped up as he was looking for daylight. Almost a 2-step and a bounce.
Justin Ort and Lars Anderson just getting a shoe-stain tackle, otherwise Nick Anderson could have gone for a long way.
Almost a hop step, and brings up 2nd down and 1 inside Mustang territory, and now we have a whistle and a penalty, and it's going to go against the Ponies. Illegal motion. So that'll move them back 5 yards. Bring up 2nd down and 6 now on the Ponies' own 47-yard line. 20 seconds remaining here in the half. Let's see if after they reset the clock, if they even had to get a play off.
It looks like it'll be one more here before the end of the quarter.
So it's handoff. Anderson around the right side. He's got room. 40, 30. One man to beat. Tripped up. Down to the 10. 5. Oh, they're going to mark him down at the 1. That's the end of the first quarter. Let's take a 1-minute timeout. The Ponies are in business. You're listening to Pony Football on KLBB.
Did you know AAA can bring you outstanding auto insurance coverage? Drivers who insure with AAA could save up to 35% or maybe more. Plus, AAA handles claims 24/7, and AAA's direct repair shops make sure you always get quality repairs, prompt service, and guaranteed workmanship, all at savings of up to 35%. You don't have to wait until your current auto insurance policy expires. Make the switch to AAA now, so you won't waste another dollar. At the Richmond Insurance Agency, they partnered with AAA to bring you great value on auto insurance. They'll help fit the coverage to your needs and assist you in saving even more with discounts for safe drivers, multiple vehicles, and good students, to name a few. Get your free quote and see how much you can save by calling 1-800-747-1619. That's 1-800-747-1619. Call or stop by today. Insurance underwritten by Auto Club Insurance Association. Call 1-800-747-1619. The New Richmond Insurance Agency.
Welcome back to Stillwater Pony Football on Club 1220, KLBB. Tim Daigle alongside Ms. Jerry Otto, and the last play of the first quarter, and Nick Anderson scampers 52 yards, and it puts it first down and goal to go for the Ponies at the 1 yard line as busted out to the right side. That was a great call. He pretty much went untouched around that right edge, and the Mustang defense finally caught up to him. But a great run, and now the Ponies first down and goal.
Mounds' defense was pretty compact, and they only have 3 defensive backs. So if you do get in the secondary, there's an awful lot of room back there. And Anderson found it.
So here's a plunge by Anderson, and he is in. They had Matt Ogren look like Sam Hednefield as well, kind of offset off the right side as lead blockers, and Nick Anderson follows that, and with 11:57 remaining here in the second quarter, the Ponies have cut into the Mustangs' lead, 14-6, extra point pending. So Trevor Tillett will handle the holding duties as quarterback Nate Ritchie out with the injury. Danny Laudette set to kick. It's up, and it is good. 11:57 remaining here in the second quarter. Stillwater on the board. It's Mounds 14, Stillwater 7. You're listening to Pony Football on KLBB.
This is Jean Smith, branch manager of Central Bank in Hudson, Wisconsin. Our customers already know that Central Bank is strong, secure, and independently owned and operated. But many people don't realize how convenient it is to find a Central Bank location near you, including right here on Carmichael Road in Hudson. Visit us today and discover how the people of Central Bank make the difference.
In Hudson, Stillwater, and 15 other convenient locations, Central Bank, strong and secure since 1919. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to Stillwater Pony Football as Nick Anderson plunges in from 1 yard out, capping a 6-play, 80-yard drive, and with 11:57 remaining here in the second quarter, Stillwater now only trails by 7. It's Mounds 14, Stillwater 7. Danny Laudette set to kick away. The ball is placed on the tee at the 40, kicking left to right. 2 men back deep for Mounds to receive. Kick is high. It's going to be taken as it bounces at the 1 and goes into the end zone, touchback, and Mounds will start on the 20.
Now, Olatija waited until the absolute last second to decide if he wanted to return it or not, and decided to be safe and let it bounce in the end zone. Nick Anderson, with all 6 plays in that drive for 80 yards, he has 10 carries for 104 yards already in just over for 1 quarter of play.
With Nate Ritchie being out, you know that Nick Anderson was going to see the majority of the carries here tonight as Trevor Tillett is not as fleet of foot. So it puts a lot more emphasis on Nick Anderson, and so far he's up to the challenge. A little bit of confusion here by the Mounds View offense as Fredrickson tells his wide receiver to go the other way. Redmond, toss, right side, trying to get around the edge as LaRolle in pursuit down the line. Gets out to the 26-yard line. Looks like a gain of 6 on the play for Redmond, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 4.
And again, that just shows you the 2 different offensive philosophies. Nick Anderson with all 10 rushing carries for Stillwater, and 5 different running backs plus the quarterback have all ran the ball so far for the Mustangs.
So they mark it at the 27, so it brings up 2nd down and 3. Now Olateju with a handoff left side, and that certainly did not surprise this Pony defense, and it looks like a loss back to the 25, a loss of 2 on the play, bring up 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, they tried the off tackle, but again, if that's a play you're familiar with and you sniff it out, then it's not usually going to work out too well, and a good job by the Stillwater interior.
So it brings up 3rd down and 5, 11-17 remaining here in the second quarter. Mounds View leading 14-7. Knutson split out wide left. Fake the handoff under pressure. Now he throws downfield, one-on-one coverage, and it's high, incomplete, looking for Knutson as Ron Portal on the coverage.
Good coverage by Ron Portal. He might have gotten away with a little bit of face guarding, but it was certainly close enough, and the pass was a little underthrown, so Knutson had to try and reach back over Ron Portal. Good defensive coverage, and now Knutson, as you mentioned, Tim, is going to line up back to punt.
Yeah, Sam Henches was the punter for the Mustangs, but he came in ranked 10th in the SEC in punting, so they're going to kind of mix it up here and give Max Knutson the try here tonight. No pressure as the Ponies set up for the return. It's high and short. It's going to bounce about midfield. It's going to get a Mustang bounce inside Pony territory down at the 38-yard line.
Knutson, a left-footed punter, and that one ended up going 37 yards.
Yeah, I was going to say 37-yard punt. That's better than the 27-yard average that Henches had. So not too bad. That name Henches, for the record, I did go to Mounds View High School. People that have been listening to my broadcasts over the year know that I am a Mounds View grad, and I had a Mrs. Henches. I wonder if that's her son that was the on the Mounds View team. But I digress. 1st down and 10 on the 38. Handoff up the middle. I'm going to assume that's Anderson under that pile. Out to the 40-yard line. A gain of 2 brings up 2nd down and 8. Actually, it looks like Peterson, 35. So 10:37 remaining here in the second quarter with the Ponies trailing 14-7. I formation. Peterson is the fullback. Mounds View showing a blitz, and now we've got a flag. False start against Stillwater.
One person to watch for among the linebacking core for Mounds View is Mick Nelson, one of the captains. He's built like an NFL linebacker, 6'3", 250 pounds. He splits his time between the line and linebacker.
Yeah, if you go onto the Mounds View football website, if you just Google Mounds View football, you'll find their team page, and they have pictures of the captains amongst other pictures, and he is really strong. Handoff, Anderson looking for a hole, not really much there, maybe back to the line of scrimmage, and now the Ponies are in a 3rd and long situation. We'll give them a gain of 2. That'll bring up 3rd down and 11. On the 37, the Ponies have to get to the 48-yard line. Let's keep an eye on Joey Quinn, split out wide left. Chris Rick, wide right, back to pass. Tillett to Burback, caught, midfield, 1st down. The tight end, Alex Burback, he was on the right side and just kind of a flare out to the near sidelines. Cognizant of where he needed to be for the sticks, great execution, nice pass by Tillett, and that moves the chains.
The first completion of the night for Trevor Tillett, and it came at a very opportune time for Stillwater.
Ponies inside Mustang territory on the 49. It's Anderson up the middle past the 45 to the 44-yard line. Another gain of 5, and it brings up 2nd down and 5. In case you're just tuning in, a pair of touchdowns by Mounds View. One on the opening drive, and after an interception, another touchdown by Mounds View. They led 14-0 after 1. Stillwater on the first play of the second quarter.
What a spin move.
Cut it to 14-7 as Nick Anderson showing his athletic ability. Looked like no gain or maybe a loss in the backfield. Spins away from that all the way down to the 36-yard line. Now the Ponies are hurrying up. Urgency at the line. They flood the right side. It's a toss. Halfback pass. Caught. Rick breaks one tackle down to the 15-yard line after the initial reception at the 20. Down to the 15. A gain of 21 on a Pony halfback pass.
Some trickeration and certainly a great time for it. Moundsview was not expecting it, and a big 21-yard reception.
So Stillwater showing more urgency. Anderson up the middle. Cuts to his left inside the 5. Down to the 2. A 13-yard gain by Nick Anderson. Excellent block. Looked like by Austin Connery, the center, as well as the right guard, opening up a gaping hole for Nick Anderson. First down. Goal to go on the 2. On that right side, that is Austin Connery. And now Anderson, left side, reaches. They're going to spot him down at about the 1 foot line.
Yeah, exactly, just outside the goal line.
The near side judge here says his knee was down before Anderson reached. And it's going to bring up second down and goal inside the 1. Just under 8 minutes remaining here in the second quarter, as the Ponies in excellent position trying to tie it up. They go into this formation with 2 fullbacks, Ogren and Sam Hednefield. It's a quarterback sneak. Tillett calls his own number. No signal yet. Touchdown! Trevor Tillett on the quarterback keeper. And with 7:37 remaining here in the second quarter, the Ponies are 1 extra point away from tying up the ball game. So Danny Laudette, pulled by Tillett. It's up, and it's good. 7:37 remaining here in the second quarter. We're all tied up. 14-14. You're listening to Pony Football on KLBB.
Wow.
This is Marty Foote for Kate's Fine Homes in Stillwater. My family recently built a new home at Kate's Fine Homes, and we love it. Visitors rave about design, quality, and workmanship. Kate's Fine Homes brings that same creativity and passion to home remodeling. Since 1970, the Kate's family has been helping homeowners remodel kitchens, bathrooms, and living areas. They also do lower-level finishes, decks, and porch additions. If your home needs updating or you'd just like to add your personal touch, contact Kate's Fine Homes for a free estimate. Visit katesfinehomes.com. You'll be very glad you did.
Welcome back to Stillwater Pony Football on Club 1220 KLBB. Trevor Tillett, a 1-yard quarterback keeper, caps an 8-play, 62-yard drive, and with 7:37 remaining here in the second quarter, the Ponies with 2 consecutive touchdown drives, and they have tied it up 14 apiece. Laudette set to kick it off, near side hash, high end over end. It's going to be right at the end zone line, and went to Matt, an automatic touchback as Olateju ducks. That time he didn't even try to catch it.
I suppose if he jumped, he could have kept it out of the end zone. But again, Moundsview, by and large, they'll take the safe play over a possible high risk, high reward. So Moundsview has yet to return a kick.
You got to think in high school football, you want to return it whenever you can. I mean, what are the odds that you can't get back to the 20 on a return that isn't in the end zone to begin with, obviously, because it'd be an automatic touchback. First down and 10, Mitch Frederickson, the senior quarterback under center as Redmond goes in motion right to left. Smested with the handoff with the carry, and certainly not fooling the Ponies' defensive line. Sebastian Borges, the gorgeous one, with the tackle.
Well, a loss of a couple. Austin Smested, 2 carries for -2 yards, as Stillwater's run defense has been very impressive tonight. And originally, Moundsview was going through the air because that was their best option, and that certainly stands to reason. At least now, here in the second quarter, we'll probably see the Mustangs go more through the air than on the ground, and that's a switch from their usual philosophy.
Let's see, 2nd down and 12 for the Mustangs as they fake the handoff. Fredrickson back to pass. He's got time. A receiver, and it's intercepted. Intercepted Sam Hednefield. That's his 2nd of the night.
Wow.
Boy, talking about a ball hawk, this linebacker, Sam Hednefield, he is in the right places at the right time.
2nd interception of the night for Hodnefield. As you mentioned, Tim, his 3rd on the season, and that's one of the reasons Moundsview likes to be conservative. Smithstad was open, but what an interception as Hodnefield took it right away from him.
So the Ponies are in business. 1st and 10 on the Mustang 35-yard line. 6:50 remaining here in the 2nd quarter. Tillett under center. Fakes the handoff, back to pass, puts some air under it, down the field, off the fingertips of the defensive back. Intended receiver was Joey Quinn. Back there was Justin Ort, the senior 6'1", 180 DB.
Yeah, Stillwater trying to keep their momentum going, and they went for it all and just slightly overthrown. And it probably wouldn't have mattered if he put a little more air under it because there were 2 defensive backs back there, and Ort able to get a hand on it.
So here's a toss to Anderson, comes near side, now cuts in the middle once he finds a little daylight to the 35-yard or 30-yard line. About a gain of 5, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and 5 for the Mustangs. Joey Quinn, he certainly has a propensity for big plays. He's a basketball player, and they convinced him to come out for football. And against Woodbury in week 1, he really showed his athleticism up in the air. He's really good with his hands and physical ability, and with that jump ball, I'm not surprised by that on 1st and 10. Now they hand off. Anderson, right side, in between the tackle and the guard, gets to about the 27. That's going to be a gain of 3, bring up 4th down and 2. Now they do have the strong leg of Danny Laudette. He has missed a 54 and a 43, I believe, so far this season. They both were long enough. They just weren't accurate.
And this would be about 44 yards, but it does look as though Stillwater, they might have to call a timeout here pretty quick.
I think they are thinking about it. They have all 3, and they are going to take a timeout. Let's do the same. We'll step aside as Bo Labor signals the timeout with 5:26 remaining here in the 2nd quarter. Let's take a 30-second timeout. You're listening to Pony Football on KLBB.
Your number 1 Stillwater Pony High School fans, Auto Owners Insurance and the McGarry Carney Agency is a winning combination. McGarry Carney and Auto Owners will work with you to insure your home, auto, business, and life to keep everything you value safe, sound, and secure. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Call the McGarry Carney Insurance Agency at 651-439-6345. That's 651-439-6345. For more than 100 years, the McGarry Carney Agency on North Main Street in Stillwater.
Welcome back to Pony Football as the Ponies take a timeout to think about their options here. It's 4th down and 2. The ball is on the Mustang 27-yard line. If they were going to attempt a field goal, it would be 44 yards. Now, it's go for it. Don't get it. Okay, Mounds View is going to have it with about 5 minutes remaining, all 3 timeouts on their own 27.
Yep.
Or you try to kick it. It could be blocked.
I like this play call. I certainly think this is the way to go.
So they're going to go run it. Toss. Anderson, left side. Looks like he's got it. He had to get to the 25, and the near side judge has him marked inside that 25.
Yep.
I think he's got it, and they signal 1st down. So a big play for the Ponies, I should say, on 4th down and 2. On the 27, they had to get to the 25, and the toss play to Anderson nets them exactly that 2 yards.
And I'm running out of room for Nick Anderson. 18 carries, 143 yards already here in the first half.
5:11 remaining in the first half, and you guessed it, Nick Anderson up the middle. Get him some Gatorade at halftime, but he still has some work to do as another nice gainer to the 15-yard line. Close to another Pony 1st down. Let's see where they mark it. They're going to say he's short, but they're not going to measure it. Boy, 2nd down and 1. 2nd down and 1 on the 15. Handoff. Anderson, he's got the first down close to the 10.
Wow.
This is going to be close to a goal-to-go situation here for the Ponies. So they're tossing the ball to Anderson. They really do run a lot of plays between the tackles. You have to give a lot of credit to this offensive line for the Ponies. I mean, they're opening up very nice holes. It's not only Nick Anderson, he's certainly has great vision and patience as he's demonstrated through 4 weeks of the season, but this offensive line is helping him out a lot. Anderson up the middle once again on the 1st and goal to go at the 10. Looks like he gets to about the 6-yard line, a gain of 4, and it's going to bring up goal to go on the 6.
And Stillwater in no hurry. They called the timeout at about the 5.5-minute mark, and we're already inside the 4-minute mark. So Stillwater accomplishing 2 things, keeping the Moundsview offense off the field, but they're also eating up an awful lot of the second quarter clock.
Matt Anderson checks into the ball game as Peterson is the fullback. Toss. Anderson, left side, reaches. Looks like he's going to be down to the 1. Just shy is Nick Anderson for his 2nd touchdown of the evening. But it's going to take at least one more play here as the Ponies, no surprise, they bring in Matt Ogren, Sam Hoddenfield, Cody Floan. These are linebackers, and they're bringing them in kind of basically as fullbacks to block.
It's like the power I formation, and Green Bay's run that to a lot of effectiveness, and that's what they're going to do here.
So we've seen this 3 times already, and it's stuffed. Coming down the line hard was Mick Nelson, and he swarmed Anderson. No gain. Looks like maybe even a loss on the play. It's going to bring up 4th down and goal here on the 1-yard line.
Well, Trevor Tillett bringing the play in. We're at almost the 2.5-minute mark of the second quarter, so at the very least, Moundsview will not have much time to work with. But again, Stillwater with a great chance here to take a lead.
So they're going to do that same power I formation. Toss. Anderson reaches. He did not get it. He is going to be short. The Moundsview defense stands up the Ponies at the goal line, and it's a turnover on downs at the 1.
Well, I don't know if Stillwater went to the well once too often, but Moundsview certainly seemed to be ready for that play, and you can't fault Nick Anderson. He gave it everything he could and ended up just a half-yard short of that goal line.
And he's actually being tended to by the trainer down by the 25-yard line as we speak. We'll have to keep an eye on Nick Anderson and his status here, as we certainly do not want to see him onto this ball game. So the Mustangs take over 1st and 10 on their own 1. 3 men in the backfield. Fredrickson under center. Handoff. Looks like that may be, Matt Hunt just getting some breathing room.
Right.
Out to about the 3. Gain of 2 on the play. And we're coming up to 2 minutes remaining here in the first half.
That's his first carry of the game. Moundsview does have 3 timeouts left. You wonder if Stillwater can make a stop here, if they might start using their timeouts on defense, give their offense one more chance here before the end of the first half.
So Moundsview has all 3 timeouts to play with, but I don't think that's really, they need to get some first downs and move the ball. They need to get something downfield, but are they willing to take that risk? Handoff. Redmond cuts back in out to about the 8 or 9 yard line.
So like about 6.
Yeah, about 6, and now the Ponies take their second timeout. So maybe they're trying to conserve some time if they can get the ball back, if they can stop Moundsview on this 3rd down, and they're saying 3. It's about a long 2. I think he needs to get out to the 11.
Well, it's certainly a smart move unless Moundsview pulls a huge rabbit out of their hat. Even if they get the first down, it's highly unlikely that they're going to try and really get downfield in a hurry. So at the very least, you give your defense a shot to make a stop, force a punt, and you could still have a chance with no timeouts and a little bit over a minute on the clock.
This Mounds View offense has shown that they can get behind this Pony defense, as Gabe Dargis, even though it didn't connect, he got behind the D, and obviously Redmond with that big play, the 46-yarder. The Ponies certainly need to be wary that Mounds View is going to open it up and try to get some serious yardage in one play. And now they've had a chance to think about it here as the Mustangs come out of the timeout that the Ponies have taken.
Well, I'm surprised. Max Knutsen's not on the field, so you would figure it'll be something very conservative here.
And they give it to Harding, right side. He's running over guys. Runs over Klydosty. Looks like a stinger by O'Neill as his right arm just goes dead, but he's going to stay out there.
So a gain of about 8 for Matt Harding. Talk about a nice luxury to have. Here's your 5th running back, and he has a touchdown and has a big game there to probably wrap up this first half.
So a minute remaining here in the half. And the Mustangs are going to keep it on the ground. Smested following a lead block, right side, out to the 30, 31. It's another big gain of 13. First down will stop the clock momentarily. As now they continue to wind it. 46 seconds remaining. Moundsview still has 3 timeouts. They have not used any. Fredrickson under center, back to pass, looks near side, looking for Knutsen, off his fingertips at the Pony 40-yard line. Ramportal on the coverage, just off the fingertips of the very dangerous Max Knutsen.
It wobbled a little on Fredrickson, and he overthrew it by maybe half a yard. Otherwise, Knutsen would have had that in stride, and he might have gone the distance.
So it brings up 2nd down and 10 for Mounds View on their own 30.
But again, now Knutsen on the sideline, so you figure Mounds View will be pretty conservative here.
Under center, Redmond gets the handoff up the middle. He's got some daylight past the 45 to the 47-yard line. Or 37, I should say. A gain of 7 brings up 3rd down and 3. So under 15 seconds to go, and it doesn't look like Mounds View is even going to attempt another play here in the first half. So they're happy to go to the locker room, tied up at 14.
Well, it was a tale of 2 quarters, Tim. The first quarter, Mounds View really with a couple of impressive drives. Harding with a 1-yard touchdown at the 4:51 mark. T.J. Horn with a 4-yard run for a touchdown at 9:38. But then a great drive by Stillwater at the end of the first quarter, capped off by Nick Anderson, who unofficially I had for 24 carries in the first half, and hopefully he's all right. He is walking. He's not going to the locker room, it looks like. It looks like he's going to be taken in by the cart. And then Tillett sneaking in a 1-yard run for a touchdown. But a very exciting first half, Tim, as Stillwater fighting back with great resolve and tying it up at 14.
So it's halftime here at Pony Stadium. As we mentioned, it's 14 apiece. Stillwater and Mounds View will come back, summarize the first half, and much more. You're listening to Pony Football on KLBB.
This is Ryan Benson, Vice President of First State Bank and Trust. Over the last 98 years, First State Bank and Trust has changed a bit. We've grown, added locations, and new services. But one thing hasn't changed. We're still the same trustworthy community bank with local ownership and local management that we were way back in 1914. Visit us today at one of our 4 locations in the St. Croix Valley or online at bayportbank.com.
In Bayport, Oak Park Heights, Boutwell's Landing, Stillwater, and Hudson. Safe, sound, secure. Since 1914, First State Bank and Trust, an equal housing lender. Member FDIC.
Urgent care?
Yep.
Clinic?
Yep.
ER?
Yep. From planned visits to the unexpected, Stillwater Medical Group and Lakeview Hospital are there to make it all better every hour, every day. Find your clinic, urgent care, and ER at lakeviewhealth.org.
Looking for that certified pre-owned? Cox Motors, your home for guaranteed credit, has what you're looking for. Serving the St. Croix Valley for over 75 years. Cox Motors in New Richmond.
Just off the river, right on the money.
Most people believe that you can't improve on perfection. That is until they see the 2013 Chevy Malibu at Stillwater Motors. The 2013 Malibu is all new inside and out, with a design inspired by Chevy Camaro. Walk around. The new Chevy Malibu is 3 inches wider with increased shoulder and hip room for added comfort. Crack lids are increased for better ride and handling. You'll also notice the sporty deck lid spoiler. Sit behind the wheel and take in the ice blue ambient lighting. Check out the MyLink touchscreen for radio, music, and other features. 2013 Malibu also has a brand new 2.5-liter Ecotec engine with an EPA estimated 34 highway miles per gallon. For safety, Malibu has the stiffest, strongest body in its class with 8 standard airbags. Perfection just got a whole lot better. The 2013 Chevy Malibu at Stillwater Motors. Highway 36 and Stillwater Boulevard. Online at stillwatermotors.com. Renun's family owned and operated since 1922.
Stillwater Motors, good people to know.
Welcome back to Stillwater Pony Football on Club 1220 KLBB. I'm Tim Daigle. Alongside me is Jerry Otto. We're at Pony Stadium on the campus of Stillwater High School, and we've got a dandy shaping up here in Week 5 of Suburban East Conference football. It's 14-14 at halftime as the 3-1 Stillwater Ponies, number 7 in the state of Minnesota and tied for second in the Suburban East Conference, knotted up with Mounds View, who's 4-0 on the season, number 4 in the state of Minnesota, and they are in sole possession of first place in the Suburban East Conference, and the Ponies want to get a share of that here tonight. Let's take a look at the scoring summary in the first half. Back with 7 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in the first quarter is when Mounds View got on the board first. It was a 1-yard run by Matt Harding, capping an 11-play, 80-yard drive that lasted 4 minutes and 51 seconds. That was the opening drive of the ball game, and with 7:09 remaining in the first quarter, Mounds View led 7-0. Mounds View added to their lead still in the first quarter. This time a 4-yard run by T.J. Horn, capping a 4-play, 52-yard drive, and with 2 minutes and 22 seconds remaining in the first quarter, Mounds View led 14-0. That's how things were at the end of one, and now we go into the second quarter, and it was all Stillwater. On the first play of the second quarter, it was a Nick Anderson 1-yard run, capping a 6-play, 80-yard drive that was highlighted by a 52-yard run by Nick Anderson. And with 11:51 remaining after the Danny Laudette extra point, Stillwater trailed by 14-7. And then Stillwater tied it up with 7:37 remaining in the second quarter as a 1-yard run by quarterback Trevor Tillett, capping an 8-play, 62-yard drive. And with 7:37 remaining in the second quarter, it was tied up at 14. No scoring after that. However, the Ponies were stood up on 4th and goal at the 1. And so Mounds View prevents Stillwater from punching in another one. And on the resulting drive by Mounds View, they ran out of time as it ran into halftime. And that's where we are at the end of the first half. So, Jerry, what are your thoughts? And I see you gathered some stats as well. Overall, what are your observations of the first half of play?
Well, it was surprising in the first quarter. Mounds View going mostly to a passing attack, which is not their usual modus operandi. It worked early for the Mustangs as they had 3 big completions early on, but then 2 interceptions by Hodnefield. They did find Jeremy Redmond deep in the secondary for the second week in a row, which set up one of Mounds View's touchdowns. But Mounds View coming in third and rushing in the Suburban East, and the Stillwater defense very stout tonight, holding them to 75 yards in the first half. And Nick Anderson, you sure hope for the Pony's sake that he's all right. He had unofficially 24 carries for 164 yards, as Stillwater ended up with more than double the rushing yards of the Mustangs, 167 to 75. Not too much passing-wise for either team. Mitch Fredrickson 5 for 10 for 100 yards plus the 2 interceptions. Trevor Tillett was 1 for 5 for 14 yards, the one completion to Burback, and then the halfback option pass by Anderson as he connected with Chris Rick. And that's one of those perfect quarterback ratings, 158.3. Those are always nice to have. But total yards on the half, 202 for Stillwater, 175 for Mounds View. A very clean, only 2 procedure penalties on Stillwater for 10 yards.
Yeah, so we go into halftime here, tied at 14. It was all Mounds View in the first half. Stillwater responded nicely in the second quarter to tie it up at 14 apiece, and that's where we stand now. As Jerry mentioned, Nick Anderson on that final play where he was stood up on 4th and goal on the 1, he kind of came up injured, and he was actually taken off by a golf cart to the locker room. So we're certainly going to have to keep an eye on that situation, as Nick Anderson has been about 95% of this offense here in the first half, and to see him go down would be a huge loss for this Pony offense. Well, more to come. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk more about this game, and we'll see what other games are going on in the Suburban East Conference. You're listening to Pony Football on KLBB.
When you join AAA, you're a member, not just a customer, so you get all the benefits you deserve, including legendary 24/7 roadside assistance. But AAA membership is more than just your car. TripTik routings, tour book guides, and maps are free for customers. You'll also have access to AAA travel with special member discounts and travel agency service. Plus, you'll get member-only discounts at thousands of hotels, even special rental car rates. And did you know AAA is an outstanding source for insurance coverage at competitive rates? Get a free quote, and you'll see. You could save hundreds. Plus, when you have a claim, the AAA Direct Repair Program links you to a network of reputable shops offering quality repairs, prompt service, and guaranteed workmanship. At the New Richmond Insurance Agency, they've partnered with AAA to bring you all of these great member benefits, and you can take advantage of them by calling 1-800-747-1619. Join AAA today. Insurance underwritten by Auto Club Insurance Association. Call 1-800-747-1619. The New Richmond Insurance Agency.
Victoriano's New York Pizza is tired of the plain old pepperoni, cheese, and sausage. We got New York names for New York pizzas, like the barbecue Minnie the Moocher, Sammy the Bull, and my personal favorite, the Forget About It pizza. Victoriano's Pizza is large, delicious, and offers free delivery. Victoriano's is located in the Isaac Staples Sawmill Building in downtown Stillwater. Call Victoriano's at 651-430-3700. And don't forget to ask about their calzones, stromboli, pastas, and breakfast. Victoriano's, a taste of New York.
Are you doing
anytime.
KLBB's website?
Running a small business is a lot like juggling. You have to stay focused on what's really important at all times. My name is Cameron Kelly, and I'll make sure your personal and professional legal needs are taken care of so you can concentrate on the important matters of running your business. Everything from employment and real estate issues to estate planning, wills, trusts, and probate law. My name is Cameron Kelly. Call me today for a free consultation.
Cameron Kelly Law, for your business, for your property. For you, call 651-705-6277. That's 651-705-6277. Cameron Kelly Law.
Hey, this is Tony. You're listening to the Ponies Football on KLBB AM 1220 Stillwater.
Yes, you are, Tony, and we are at halftime here at Pony Stadium with a 14-14 ball game at halftime. It's Stillwater and Mounds View. Stillwater coming in 3-1 on the season. Mounds View 4-0, shaping up to be a great second half. Continue to tune in, not only on radio on AM 1220, but also we are video streaming this as well. You can go to klbbradio.com or poniesfootball.com for that matter as well. Other games going on in the Suburban East Conference as well as throughout the state of Minnesota. Were you able to find some scores there, Jerry?
Yeah, I was hoping to get White Bear Woodbury because that's a game that's also important in the top of the Suburban East, and selfishly hoping Roseville is taking it to Forest Lake. Roseville could use a win after a couple of tough losses. Totino beating Elk River in a big Northwest Suburban matchup 6-0 in the first half. St. Thomas beating Montemedi 13-6. Close game. Again, Hastings is starting to get interesting, especially with their passing attack from one Weiss brother to the other. Eastridge beating the Hastings Raiders 7-6. And also in the first half, another tough night for the Cretan Raiders as Park is beating them 7-0.
No kidding.
No kidding.
This is the first week I noticed that Cretan Durham Hall is not ranked. They're not in the top 10. And I can't recall an instance in the last handful of years where Cretan Durham Hall has not been in the top 10. So tough season so far, and maybe Park may have the better of them here tonight. We'll have to wait and see. A lot of ball game remaining in that one. So as Jerry mentioned, other games going on in the Suburban East Conference tonight. White Bear is at Woodbury, Roseville at Forest Lake, Eastridge at Hastings, and Cretan Durham Hall is at Park Cottage Grove. Now, with that said, taking a look at the conference standings coming into tonight's action, Mounds View sits alone in the conference with a 4-0 record, and then there's a tie for second between Stillwater and White Bear. Stillwater has defeated White Bear, so they'd have that tiebreaker right there, and then there's a four-way tie for fourth. That would be Woodbury, Cretan Durham Hall, Eastridge, and Hastings all come in at 2-2. A tie for eighth, that's Park and Roseville at 1-3, and then Forest Lake looking for their first win of the season at home against Roseville here tonight. We're at halftime. We'll take a look at some of the team stats as well. We'll dive into some Suburban East Conference stats if we can. And what's surprising is actually Stillwater's offense. They're 3-1 on the season. That's where statistics don't mean everything, because the Ponies' offense is 9th in the conference, averaging 274 yards a game. And Mounds View's offense is 6th with 321 yards a game. But you look on the other side in defense, and maybe that's where things are a little bit more important, where Mounds View is tops in that ranking, just allowing a little over 227 yards a ball game. And Stillwater's defense, after that 48-0 victory over Forest Lake last weekend, they actually improved, I believe, from I don't have it in front of me, but they were the like bottom 3 in the Suburban East in defense, and now they're back up to a respectable 5th in defense. And I think the Ponies' defense, they got a little rattled to begin with the passing attack by Mounds View. I think Mounds View kind of threw him for a curveball to begin with, but the defense settled down nicely, and I think they were able to control that running attack by Mounds View nicely.
And also Stillwater has one of the few defenses that physically can match up pretty well against a good-sized Mounds View offensive front, and it certainly shows in the rushing yards. Again, Mounds View with 6 different running backs on the game, but nobody really stands out. TJ Horn has 7 carries for 29 yards and a touchdown. Jeremy Redmond, 3 carries for 18 yards. And Harding, 2 carries for 9 yards and a touchdown. But by and large, Stillwater doing an excellent job controlling the third-ranked rushing attack here in the Suburban East.
So the 2 primary runners, averaging a little over 4 yards and about 6 yards a carry with very minimal carries in there. So the Ponies doing a good job against this balanced rushing attack by the Mustangs. We are awaiting the return of the players, as I think they are starting to filter out of their respective locker rooms. They'll come out, do a quick warm-up, and then we'll be set for the start of the second half. As you recall, the Ponies won the toss. They elected to defer. So that means the Ponies will start on offense when we come back. It's halftime, third quarter coming up momentarily. You're listening to Ponies Football on KLBB.
Hi, I'm Karen Housley of Karen Housley Homes and Keller Williams Realty. As the mother of 3 ponies and 1 Chevelle, and the wife of a pony coach, our family knows the value of youth sports in a community. We enjoy an excellent quality of life here in the St. Croix Valley, thanks in part to programs like Pony Sports. Please join us at Karen Housley Homes to support our ponies this season.
guys are doing all the coverage.
When you need legal advice, turn to Eckberg Lammers, attorneys at law. Eckberg Lammers is one of the largest and most respected law firms in Washington County with more than 60 years of proven results. Just like the Stillwater Ponies, Eckberg Lammers takes pride in their experienced team and balanced theories of practice. Eckberg Lammers is a full-service law firm for both businesses and individuals and proud to support the Stillwater Ponies, serving the East Metro and Western Wisconsin since 1949. Eckberg Lammers, attorneys at law. Call 651-439-2878.
Is your current mortgage rate 5% or higher? If the answer is yes, call one of the mortgage specialists at the First National Bank of River Falls and start saving money today. Historically low rates can mean historically high savings for you. And best of all, First National Bank of River Falls is a stable community bank with common sense mortgage lenders. They'll work to give you a mortgage that's right for you and your family.
Keep
for
an
the
eye
long
out for
term.
Anderson.
Don't miss out on this historic opportunity.
sign.
Call the mortgage specialists at the First National Bank of River Falls today. Equal housing lender. Miller Excavating is a locally owned and operated family business that has served the St. Croix Valley since 1957. Pete and Marilyn Miller are happy to announce that, in addition to grandson Steve St. Clair, grandson Scott St. Clair has joined Miller Excavating too. Miller Excavating is truly a family business, and they're proud to sponsor Pony Football. For excellence, dependability, and the very best in residential and commercial grading, excavating, road building, trucking, and aggregate material, call Miller Excavating at 651-439-1637.
Welcome back to Pony Football on Club 1220 KLBB. Streaming on the web, klbbradio.com and poniesfootball.com if you want to watch the game and listen to the game at the same time. Thanks a lot for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments about the broadcast, I'd love to hear from you. Shoot me an email, tim@klbbradio.com. That's tim@klbbradio.com. As the team's coming out, had my binoculars on, scanning the Ponies sideline, and yes, Nick Anderson is out there doing the warm-ups here, leading into the second half, so that is a good sign for this Ponies offense. How many carries did Nick Anderson have in the first half?
Unofficially, I had him for 24 carries for 164 yards. That would be an outstanding game for most of the running backs in the state, and we still have a full half of football here to go, so I would imagine he's going to get an awful lot more here too.
I don't have the state record book, and I don't even think he'd be close. I mean, I don't think 48 carries would even come close to the state record.
You figured it'd be at least in the 50s, right?
Oh, I bet you the state record's probably like in the 70s or so. I mean, you think there's some teams out there that do run the ball every play, and it's the same guy, and it'd be interesting. But if he were to equal the number of rushes that he had in the first half, 24, 48 would be a workload for any running back.
Exactly.
And he's certainly going to sleep well tonight and probably need a good cold tub soaking to recover from all the bumps and bruises and the physical hits that he's taken here tonight. But now the warm-ups are complete. Looking at the Ponies uniforms, one thing that's different, I have never seen them before, as the Ponies have black pants on tonight. Usually at home, they have their red uniform like they have on with white numbers, but they have white pants with the red and black stripe down the side of the leg, and they are not sporting that here tonight as they've gone all black, and it certainly looks to be a meaner look for the Ponies.
Well, I believe tomorrow as Nebraska takes on Wisconsin, they're wearing their black uniforms to try and contrast with Wisconsin, as they're all red, just like Nebraska is.
Oh, yeah, some Big Ten action tomorrow as well. Mounds, or Minnesota and Iowa. Should be a good one for the Gopher fans out there. I know the one I'll be watching is Colorado, UCLA, personally.
Oh, poor Colorado.
Hey, they beat Washington State last week. Did you see
did?
That? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I guess Mike Leach is having a tough go of it in his first year there with the Cougars.
Heavy underdogs, as Colorado lost to Sacramento State this year, but hey, they beat Washington State. So here we go as the Mustangs set to kick off for the second half. They are in their road white uniforms, green numbers and helmets, white pants. They're going to be going left to right as the kickoff. Too deep, and it's going to be Rick at about the 3. Comes straight up the middle. Looking for a block out to about the 25-yard line. And that's where the Ponies will set up on offense, led by Trevor Tillett. The quarterback filling in for Nate Ritchie obviously has a little different dynamic on this offense. Ritchie more versatile, able to run and pass. I see him rolling out with that option run-pass look. Tillett doesn't have that speed and agility that Ritchie does, but I think he compensates that with a stronger arm, but he has really been limited on the number of passes here tonight. Offset eye to the right, Rick in motion. Handoff, Anderson. Up the middle, didn't look like he got much, maybe a gain of 1 on the play, bring up 2nd down and 9. I never really did see, didn't seem like they were really focusing on a certain area on Anderson. If it were anything, I thought it was going to be like an upper body injury when he's kind of reaching for the end zone on that 4th and 1 and he didn't get it. I think he may have exposed himself a little bit on the reach.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Tim, but you're right, he was twisted around quite a bit.
So here's a play action. He's got a man out in the flat. That's Joey Quinn, caught at the 27, breaks a tackle, and down the sidelines he goes, past the 45 to the 46-yard line, a gain of 21. And a nice broken tackle, missed tackle, and the Ponies exploit it for a nice 21-yard gain and out to the 46. So there's Joey Quinn. He is certainly a dynamic wide receiver, and I haven't seen that look. A quick out to the near sidelines.
It was a smart play because, again, as a defensive back, you have to protect the deeper part of the secondary. Quick hitter and some nice moves to get by the defensive back that was covering him.
1st and 10, Anderson following his lead block, Peterson. Excellent hole inside Mounds view territory, past the 40 to the 39-yard line. A gain of 15 on that play, and they move the chains once again. So opening drive here of the second half, and the Ponies moving it rather nicely. Tillett under center, I formation. Anderson up the middle, and he runs into Mick Nelson, but not after about 3 yards. He is big.
Yeah,
he is big.
6'3", 250 is what he's listed at, but yeah, that might be understating it a little.
Yeah, you know, on Moundsy, they have what they call like the relays, and they do, you know, like the 40-meter dash, and they do shuttle races and like cleans and bench presses, and they combine all these numbers, and it comes out to he was like top 2. He with Harding. Harding's a beast as well. Anderson, left side, past the 35 to the 33. We'll give him 3 on that, and it'll bring up 3rd down and about 4. As Nick Anderson continues to see the majority of the workload here as we start the second half.
It's an awfully crowded press box here, Tim. We have Jim Paulson from the Star Tribune, Ray Richardson from the Pioneer Press, Eric Nelson from Fox, and good friend of mine, John Malaya from the State High School League.
So Tillett back to pass, 3-step drop, and it's high.
Ooh.
And when Chris Rick jumped up, he took a shot right into the chops. And I think the hit was by Lars Anderson, the safety, and Chris Rick is down. You know, it looked clean, though. I mean, it was a shoulder.
Right. And also, Rick was really extended for the ball because, again, here in the first 2 quarters plus, Trevor Tillett has shown he's got a cannon for an arm, and unfortunately has overthrown a couple of receivers and did so on that play.
So you look at that and you say, is that defenseless receiver? You know, is that a penalty on the defensive back, you know, when it comes to the NFL and things like that? I don't know. That one looked like a shoulder. It was high, an uncatchable ball.
Right.
Did it warrant a hit by the safety? Maybe not, but this is football.
Mm-hmm. So 4th and 5.
At the 34-yard line. So you're kind of in no man's land unless you have a strong leg kicker, and this is going to be a 51-yarder.
Oh, my gosh.
So Danny Laudette set to kick a 51. It's on the near hash. Snap, hold, kick is up. It's low and piercing. It's long enough, but it looks wide left.
Yep.
He had the leg. I think that was good from 56.
I agree. He's got a lot of Blair Walsh in him, the new rookie kicker for the Vikings, has a very strong leg, and Laudette, with a good effort, just pulled it a little too much.
So he's 0 for 3 on field goals, but remember, all the field goals have been over 40 yards. So it's not as though he's, missing chip shot 27, 30-yarders. Yep. When he's trying to kick them, they're pretty deep. So now Mounds View starts 1st and 10 on their first possession here in the second half. 9:38 remaining here in the third quarter, tied up at 14. Mitch Frederickson, their senior quarterback, under center. It's a toss to Redmond, left side. Ankle tackle by Jason Klydosty. A couple yard gain, bring up second down. Gain of 2 on the play, 2nd down and 8 for Redmond. And let's see if Mounds View will just keep it on the ground and continue to plug away. If they're going to throw it, it could be Max Knutson, who's split out wide right with Aaron Portal in coverage, man-to-man with him. And looks like they're going to go that way. Knutson at the 28. Coverage comes over, trying to strip the ball away from him as he stood up. Reaches, and now he's close to the first down. That was 2nd down and 8. Looked like he was going to be short, but the second and third effort, boy, he's going to be close to a first down.
Well, that was a really good effort by Sam Hodnefield to hustle over and get in and stop him from getting that first down, as it was Knutson getting 7 on the play.
So it is 3rd down and 1. They have it on the 29. He needs to get to the 30. It looks like really all he needs is maybe the length of a football.
I believe Max Knutson is going to play playing baseball next year at the University of Minnesota.
So the Ponies showing blitz as they're figuring Mounds View is going to come straight up the middle. Frederickson backed away. Now he comes back under center. It's a handoff. Up the middle, they got it. That is T.J. Horn, another tackle by Jason Klydosty. But not after, about a 3-yard gain, and a Mounds View first down. We'll give them 4 on the play as they have it spotted on the 34. So that's going to bring up a fresh set of downs for the Mustangs.
T.J. Horn, 8 carries for 32 yards. He's been the leading rusher for Mounds View, but again, the Stillwater defense doing a good job limiting Mounds View on the ground as their running game is awfully strong.
Here's a handoff. Redmond, left side. Klydosty once again in there. I am so surprised. These safeties really do come up and support the defensive line and linebackers so much. And I was looking at the defensive stats as Connor O'Neill has 17 solo tackles. That's 3rd on the team, and he's a safety. Klydosty had 11 solo tackles and 11 assists. Those 11 assisted tackles were tops on the team coming into this ball game.
And I think one thing that helps out the safeties is if you see number 25, Knutson, on the sideline, you don't have to worry about as much deep, so they can help out with the run support.
Just put Hodnefield on Dargis and you'll be fine because he'll probably intercept it. Here's a handoff. Redmond trying to get around the left side, able to break free. Looks like he's going to have the first down. Dragging, it looked like Hodnefield had a handful of jersey, but that certainly wasn't going to get the job done as run all the way out to the 44-yard line, and another Mounds View first down.
Jeremy Redmond, 6 carries for 31 yards. As again, Mounds View's strategy is usually to try and wear you down with the run, and now they are starting to stretch out the running game a little bit.
So the Ponies showing blitz. Klydosty coming up. Now it's a rollout near side. Good play call. Looking for blockers. Frederickson up, takes a hit. About a gain of 8. Marvin LaRolle. And Frederickson is slow to get up. Boy, that really energizes Pony defense as Frederickson was pointing out for blockers, looking for downfield blocking, and boy, he left himself open for a shot, and Ponies took advantage.
Yeah, a gain of about 8 for Frederickson. He did have 2 receivers, Knutson and another Mounds View receiver that were trying to get open. The coverage was good, and Frederickson decided to take it himself, and you sure hope he's going to be all right.
Well, nevertheless, Alec Tolson is going to have to come into the ball game, whether or not this is for one play or if the injury is a little bit more extensive, as Mitch Fredrickson is still on the ground, as we never want to see injuries on either side of the ball, as we like to have injury-free game, and all the participants can just have fun, enjoy themselves, and be healthy, and just leave everything on the field, as we never like to see injuries in the game of football on either side of the field, as Mitch Fredrickson is still down on the near sidelines, just in front of the Ponies bench, and Alec Tolson taking some reps underneath center as he is set to come in to replace Mitch Fredrickson, who still is down. He's sitting up, and he is talking to the trainer. Looks like Jim Galvin, the head coach for the Mustangs, is out there as well. And now he's up to his feet, as you can hear the cheers from the crowd here on the Stillwater side. So he's walking off to the sidelines on his own power, which is good to see.
Mm-hmm. So second and a long 2 here, 6:12 left to go in the third quarter. Knutson checks back in. And as you mentioned, Tim, Alec Tolson, the senior, will bring in the play here, the backup quarterback for the Mustangs.
So here we go as they wind the clock. 2nd down and 2 on the Pony 48. It's Horn up the middle, and it looks like he's going to be maybe a yard short here. Looks like he's just going to get a gain of 1. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 1. With 5:54 remaining here in the third quarter. It's tied up at 14. That's how we went into halftime. Mounds View scored 2 first-quarter touchdowns to take a 14-0 lead. Stillwater scored 2 second-quarter touchdowns to tie it up. That's where we went into halftime. And no score here beyond midway of the third quarter. So it's 3rd down and 1. Ball is on the Pony 47-yard line. Alec Tolson under center. Redmond goes in motion left. They hand off. Smeested, near side, breaks through, goes down the sidelines, tippy toes, knocked out of bounds around the 30-yard line. A gain of 17 on the play on 3rd and 1 for the Mustangs.
Smeestad started off 2 carries, -2 yards. His last 2 runs have been big ones for Mounds View. 2 carries, 29 yards, and a big first down here for Mounds View as they keep this drive going.
1st down and 10 on the 31 now of Stillwater. As this drive originated, I believe, around the 20-yard line of Mounds View. Alec Tolson in to replace the injured Mitch Fredrickson. Under center, handoff, TJ Horn. Maybe a gain of 1 as he up the middle. Always seems like there's a lot of moving parts with this Mounds View offense. You know, they may hand it off the middle, but they always have a guy faking to come around the edge, or maybe they'll fake the inside and will go to the guy going around the edge. And they do a lot of. It's not like the hidden ball trick, but it certainly can keep the linebackers honest, because they really have to be honest with their gap coverage.
And as an offensive lineman, it's a pretty big playbook to learn as far as all the different moves you need to know about.
Here's a toss to Smested, left side, spin tackle as Hednefield tried to take him down. It looks like about a gain of 8. They have him marked at the 22-yard line. That's going to bring up, once again, a 3rd down and 1 for the Mustangs. So they've had a couple of 3rd downs, and they've been able to convert them. Another big one here. They're almost in four down territory. As Tolson under center, Smested goes in motion near side. 2 men in the backfield. Redmond trying to get around the left side, and Matt Ogren over there. I think he stopped him short. Good pursuit there by Matt Ogren. So now, head coach Jim Galvin has another decision to make. Ball's on the 22. I mean, this would be a 39-yarder. Not in the realm of most high school kickers.
Yep.
And so he's going to go for it. 4th and 1. 3 men in the backfield. Looked like almost a bobble snap. Ogren over there. Let's see the spot. Boy, this is going to be real close, Jerry.
I think his knee was down before he stretched out for the first down. Yeah, it's going to be first down Stillwater.
So a big turnover on downs by the Mustangs. The Ponies' big turnover in downs was on the 1-yard line on 4th and goal, but this one equally as important for the Ponies at this stage of the game, keeping it tied 14-14, and now the Ponies take over possession on their own 22.
Mounds did take an awful lot of time off the clock, as Stillwater did at the end of the first half, but now Nick Anderson with another chance against the Mounds defense.
High formation, Anderson slashes to the near side. That's the left side. Out to the 27-yard line, a gain of 5 for Anderson, and it brings up 2nd down and 5 as the clock continues to run. 2:47 remaining here in the third quarter, knotted up at 14. Alex Burback comes in motion. He's going to go strong side left. Handoff to Anderson, right. Runs into Mick Nelson. Past the 30 to about the 29, or the 31 rather. We'll give him 3 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down and 2.
Unofficially, the 30th carry for Nick Anderson, 192 yards. He's very close to the 200-yard mark.
You wish you had my stat sheet now that was a little bit bigger than yours, don't you now, Jerry?
I can make do.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying.
Actually, I do have your stat sheet. You were already nice enough to give me one.
3rd down and 2. Here's a toss play. Anderson cuts in, and he's down, but we got a flag.
I wonder if Rick might get hit for a block in the back. It looked like it was a running play, and it just it didn't seem like Stillwater had the right setup that they were looking for.
So that's going to be an illegal block in the back against Stillwater. So it depends on where's the spot of the foul, because if he didn't get there, he could theoretically decline this and make it 4th down and 1. I think that's what Jim Galvin's probably wondering, is where is the spot of the ball?
They're marking him down with a 1-yard loss. Yeah, you're right. They're going to decline it.
So with the play, they would have been short of the 1st down, so by declining it, it makes it 4th down, and the Ponies are going to be forced to punt. Great crowd on hand here at Pony Stadium, obviously. Always representing their local team very well. Well supported. Beautiful night. 70 degrees at kickoff with just a 3-mile-an-hour wind out of the southwest. And the flags on the uprights barely moving as the punt is away. Comes near side at the 40. Ogren along with LaRolle with the tackle at the 48-yard line, and that's where Moundsville will set up in pretty decent field position here to start on offense with 1:36 remaining here in the third quarter, tied up at 14.
A really good field position here for Moundsview as they're very close to the midfield stripe. And big defensive back Ethan DeCastro with a nice little return of 7 yards.
So Alec Tolson still under center as Mitch Fredrickson went out with an injury in the last possession, but this running attack continues to roll. TJ Horn tripped up at about the line of scrimmage as forward progress and momentum carries him out to the 48-yard line. Gain of 2, bring up 2nd down and 8. That's the thing with this offense. As long as the quarterback can hand off cleanly, you know, maybe the Ponies will look for a fumble here on a bobbled exchange, maybe between center and quarterback, or quarterback and running back, with the backup here and not receiving the same amount of reps as the first unit. Here's a Wow, that almost looked like there was some confusion there, but Smested with the run near side around the edge all the way into Pony territory, the 37-yard line. It looked like Tolson was going to hand off behind him and then turn around to his near side. Maybe that was designed, but it certainly didn't look pretty. But it was effective. First down for Mounds View inside Pony territory at the 37-yard line.
That's one of those counters that Mounds View likes to run, and it was certainly effective there as Smestad, his last 4 carries, have all been for very positive yardage.
So Tolson under center, he rolls out far side, puts some air under, looking for Redmond, but it was overthrown, heading the field on the coverage. Incomplete pass as Tolson with his first pass attempt, I believe, here in this ballgame. Yes. Brings up second down and 10. 20 seconds remaining here in the third quarter.
Yeah, Smestad now 6 carries for 50 yards as, again, his last 4 carries have been pretty impressive. And he's been the one running back out of the 3 that usually start in the backfield that is starting to break out a little bit.
So second down and 10. Back to pass once again. Tolson finds Knutson at about the 33. He's driven back. Not after about a gain of 3 to 4 on the play, and that is going to be the final play here in the third quarter. No scoring in the third. We're tied up at 14. Stillwater, Mounds View. Let's take a 1-minute timeout right here on Club 1220 KLBB.
Hi, this is Al Aminick, Vice President of Central Bank in Hudson, Wisconsin. As a banker in the Hudson market for more than 20 years, I know the importance of relationship banking. It's what sets us apart from other banks. Visit us today in Hudson to see what Central Bank can do to help you.
Central Bank in Hudson, Stillwater, and 15 other convenient locations throughout the Twin Cities and western Wisconsin. Learn more at centralbnk.com. Central Bank, strong and secure since 1919. Member FDIC.
As we begin the fourth quarter of play here at Pony Stadium on the campus of Stillwater Area High School, I'm Tim Daigle. Alongside me, Jerry Otto. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Beautiful night for football. Excellent performance here on the field as well. Suburban East Conference Week 5 matchup. It's the number 4 ranked Mounds View Mustangs, 4-0 on the season. Number 7 ranked Stillwater Ponies, 3-1 on the season, battling it out. Stillwater trying to be victorious, grab a share of that lead in the SEC, and Mounds View trying to extend it or break away from Stillwater, at least, as White Bear is also tied for second place in the conference. So no scoring in the third quarter. We begin the fourth. Mounds View with the ball on the move. It's third down and 5 inside Stillwater territory on the 32-yard line. Max Knutson, the wide receiver, out wide right. Tolson under center. One man in the backfield. Back to pass Tolson. He's looking Knutson's way. Puts air under it. Down the sideline. One-on-one coverage. Incomplete. Modine on the coverage. Right on his hip, really.
Exactly.
That was tight.
Yep. And it was a good pass, and it was to where Mounds View figures Knutson's the only one that can catch it, but excellent coverage by Modine. And so an interesting play call here on 4th and 5 from the 32. You would certainly figure they'll go for it.
I would run Smested.
Yeah, his last 4 runs have been very effective, and you would imagine he'll be out there here.
He is near side.
Yep.
And now he goes in motion. Tolson under center. He's back to pass. He's going to roll out right, and it's intercepted. Lowell Schmeichel returns it out to the 30-yard line. Lowell Schmeichel with the interception, and the Ponies take over on their own 30-yard line.
And again, that's a case where you can tell it's an inexperienced quarterback. He did have a couple receivers on the far side, but the throw was nowhere near his 2 intended targets, and Stillwater loses a couple of yards on the interception, but still it's certainly worth a chance trying to get a long gain the other way. But a big play nonetheless as Stillwater stops Mounds View.
So that is the third interception by Mounds View here tonight.
It's highly unusual.
But it's tied 14-14. Handoff, Anderson. Straight up the middle. He gets out to about the 33. Boy, you know, when you look at, when they talk at NFL games about a turnover ratio of, you know, -1, -2, you start to get into that -3 range. And in the NFL, I mean, it's a loss almost, you know, 90% of the time.
Right.
High school, it's a little bit different, but still, Stillwater has to be encouraged on the turnover ratio. They want to turn this one into points. Tillett throwing it down deep. Looked like it was, as Quinn wants the flag, but it was out of bounds. It didn't look catchable as the ball was really thrown out of bounds. There wouldn't have been any room for Quinn to get his feet in on that one.
Well, Trevor Tillett, if anything, getting valuable experience here being a junior. You figure he's hoping to be the starting quarterback for the Ponies next year, and eventually he'll learn a little more touch on his passes because he has overthrown a few receivers here tonight.
So it's 3rd down and 7 for the Ponies on their own 34. Tillett back to pass, looking near side. Rick caught at the 38, but it looks as though he's going to be about 2 yards short. And that's another case where, you know, you really need to be aware of where the first down yardage is.
Exactly.
And you got to make that break so you're going to be at the stick, not 2 yards short, because there is no run after catch.
Yeah.
I think the Ponies have to punt here.
And that's what they're doing. They're sending in the punt team.
With 10:36 and counting here in the 4th quarter, it's 4th down and 1 for the Ponies. Ball is marked on the 39. Some late substitutions as Schmeichel comes in. And here comes the flag. I think this may be a delay of game. A lot of confusion on the Pony sideline personnel for this punt. And so that's going to move them back 5. And now they mark it on the 33. So Danny Laudette standing on his own 16-yard line, set to punt this away.
Nice catch.
Spiral angling away from DeCaster. Bounces at about the 30 on the Mustangs. They mark it out at the 27. So a very nice punt.
Yeah, punt of about 40 yards.
And Mounds View will come back out onto offense. 10-12 remaining here in the 4th quarter. We're in the middle of a good one, 14-14. Boy, at the end of the first, you thought, here we go. If you're a Stillwater fan, down 14-0, but Stillwater responded nicely in the 2nd quarter, and it's been tight ever since. Alec Tolson backing up Mitch Fredrickson, who went out with an injury, under center, and it's a handoff.
What a tackle.
Matt Hunt with the carry, and he was driven backwards. He's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd down and 10.
Driving him back was Mitchell Schertz, 6'2", 195-pounder, and a very nice tackle.
Yeah, this defensive line is really nice. Marvin Leroll, Sebastian Borges on the inside. Schertz, you have looks like Will Radke on the right side. They're pretty strong. And now they've got this one sniffed out. As I just mentioned, that Sebastian Borges finds Redmond in the backfield. It's a loss, and Redmond, or actually it's a defensive lineman, slow to get up. That's Paul Sharkey, 6'1", 190 offensive lineman. But he's going to stay in.
And that's a loss of about 4 yards. So a tough situation here for most quarterbacks, but especially your senior backup who has not seen much action. And a tough situation here for the Mustangs. Clock running under 9 minutes left to go here in regulation.
So Lowell Schmeichel in the defensive backfield as well for the Ponies as a draw play, and it's going to go nowhere.
Wow.
The Ponies have that one sniffed out as well. Sebastian Borges, Marvin Lowell in the backfield, and the Mustangs are going to be forced to punt.
And another loss of a couple yards there for Matt Hunt. It's a little surprising that Smithstad isn't out there. He's had a very good second half, but Downsview losing 6 yards on that series of downs, and now the Mustangs will have to punt.
Chris Rick is going to be the deep man for the Ponies. He's standing right at about midfield as Max Knudsen standing on his 5, set to punt this one away. Snap, kick is up, it's high, end over end, and it's going to get a Mounds View bounce near the 35-yard line of Stillwater. So a favorable forward roll on the punt by Max Knudsen. And with
sorry, Tim, go ahead.
With 8 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter, it's 14-14 Stillwater and Mounds View.
Two good back-to-back punts by Laudette and Knudsen, 40 yards going one way and 45 the other way. But we did knock some more time off the clock as we're at 8 minutes remaining.
Chris Rick splits out wide right. I formation, David Peterson the fullback, Nick Anderson the tailback in the I formation. Anderson up the middle, runs right into the teeth of the defense. It looks like in on the tackle is number 91, Zach Al-Khatib. So Nick Anderson not having the same success. Looks like he's actually slow to get back to the huddle, as I'm sure he's just getting banged up here in this one.
You would have to figure, Tim, that injury at the end of the first half is certainly affecting him here, because with the exception of that 15-yard run early in the third quarter, he hasn't looked quite as explosive.
And here's a toss as it's going to be Anderson. But once again, this Mounds View defense is swarming. Matt Harding in on the initial attack for the Mounds View defense, and a negligible gain, if any. And it's going to bring up third down and long, 3rd and 10 for the Ponies on their own 35. I think this Mounds View defense is pretty much saying, okay, we're going to stop the run. You're going to have to pass on us, Mr. Tillett.
Right. And again, in this case, Tillett just needs to take a little more off the ball, put a little more touch on it. But certainly with Quinn and Rick, some excellent receivers to throw to.
Quinn left, Rick right, and he's got Quinn. Right side, first down, past midfield. It looked like zone coverage. That was a great time as just as Quinn cleared that first DB, that's when the pass came in. First down, Stillwater.
So a gain of 17. And a nice reception there by Joey Quinn. He now has 2 catches for 38 yards.
Yeah, that was a nice pass-catch combination right there by Tillett and Quinn. Important at that, just to keep the chains moving.
Right.
And this potent offense moving as well. But the running game just is not there for the Ponies at the moment. As Anderson up the middle, it's to about the 46-yard line.
I think that was Clay Roth. They're
Okay.
going to give him credit for that one. He's got maybe a couple as now Nick Anderson checks back in.
Yes, you are correct, as Clay Roth. He had a touchdown run last week in the 48-0 victory over Forest Lake. Seen some action here tonight. I formation, back to pass. And looking for Rick, and then he is hit. In on the coverage is Austin Teskey, junior linebacker, 6'1", 172, brings up 3rd down and 8. He's been throwing everything high.
Just a little too much mustard on a good number of his passes, which is a shame because the receiver was open. So 3rd and 8 here again. Stillwater winning the field position battle. If they do have to punt, they should get Moundsview back fairly deep. But still a chance here for the Ponies on 3rd down.
Quinn split out wide left as Anderson in the slot. It's going to be Quinn. Some air under the ball, and it's just a little bit overthrown. Incomplete pass, looking for Joey Quinn, streaking down the right side. And so now Danny Laudette is going to come out to punt. So with 5:55 remaining here in the fourth quarter, tied up at 14. 4th and 8 for Stillwater on the Mounds View 46. Laudette standing on his own 39. He's going to boom high, spiral, angling to the corner. Fair catch, asked for and received at the 10 by DeCaster. A great punt inside the 20. That's all he can ask for. Excellent in high school football. And Stillwater has Mounds View pinned deep. 5:47 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Stillwater Mounds View tied up at 14. Mounds View with 2 first quarter touchdowns. Stillwater with 2 second quarter touchdowns. No scoring in the third, and obviously no scoring thus far in the fourth. Got to figure at this point, next score wins.
Yeah, and it looks like Mitch Frederickson probably out for the rest of the night.
Alec Tolson, the quarterback, handoff up the middle. It's TJ Horn up for maybe one on the play, and that's going to bring up second down.
TJ Horn has been the workhorse for Mounds View. 13 carries, 37 yards. It's second and long. And the clock's still running as we're close to the 5-minute mark.
37, that's under a 3-yard average. So the Ponies defense doing a nice job on the primary ball carrier for the Mustangs. As Olateju goes in motion right to left, handoff Smested, following Sharkey, right side. And the Ponies have it sealed off, unable to get around the corner. It's Smested. Good pursuit by the Pony defense. It's going to bring up third down and looks like about 4 for the Mustangs. Clock continues to run, 4:37 and counting. As the Mustangs pin deep after that excellent punt by Danny Laudette. Comes in averaging about 37 yards a punt. I think he's improved upon that here tonight. Tolson under center. Looked like a collision in the backfield, and the Ponies, nevertheless, not going to allow the Mustangs to get much. Olateju coming around the left side. It's back to the line of scrimmage, no gain, and that's going to bring up 4th down and 4, and the Mustangs are going to have to punt.
Well, to Knutson's credit, he did not play football as a sophomore or a junior, I'm guessing because he's such an outstanding baseball prospect, but he's picked up punting quite well. You don't see too many left-footed punters, but he's done a nice job tonight. But again, Stillwater will have excellent field position.
When you're athletic, you can do pretty much anything. This is a nice one as well. It's high at the 44-yard line, so the Ponies are going to be inside Mounds View territory, as that punt was about 29 yards. High, not, no yards, at least, it's not out punting the coverage.
Right.
Say that. So the Ponies, excellent field position here with 3:31 remaining. They've got all 3 timeouts. This is a picture-perfect situation to get the job done. Tillett under center, handoff, right side, and that is Anderson. Manages to get to the 41-yard line, a gain of 3 for the Ponies. So you got to figure time really isn't going to be an issue with 3 timeouts, 3 minutes remaining. They just need to keep moving the ball, keep doing what they're doing here. They've got a good leg kicker. He just needs to find some accuracy. As Anderson plunges up the middle once again, inside the 40 to the 37. Another gain of 4, so that's going to bring up 3rd down and 3 for Stillwater. So an important 3rd down conversion here.
Nick Anderson has eclipsed the 200-yard mark, 36 carries for 201 yards. Some hard yardage tonight for the senior running back.
3rd down and 3, handoff. Anderson left side hitting the backfield, and he is not going to get the first down, trying to get around the left edge.
It was a really nice up tackle by the defensive captain for Moundsview, Lars Anderson.
At the 37, and Anderson once again is down, and this time he is agonizing in pain. It looks like he's clinching the lower body area. Oh, he's reaching his right arm. So Nick Anderson, the primary ball carrier for the Ponies, is going to come out. He was dinged up in the first half.
Right.
Oh, he's agonizing in pain again this time. Looking at his arm.
It makes sense to try it because if they got to start at their 20, go 80 yards and do this.
I think it's at his right elbow.
Oh my gosh.
And we're going to see a field goal.
This will be a 54-yard attempt. Moundsview sending Knutson back.
It's short as it came just underneath the left pylon, so Laudette did not have the leg. So interesting because now they don't pin Moundsview deep.
No,
I mean it's still deep, but they maybe could have really tried to pooch it even deeper and force them to cover more yardage. I mean they are on the 20.
Right. Yeah, I had forgotten that.
That's a touchback.
Yep. So you still get 16 yards on the missed field goal attempt. If you make it, you're up by 3 points. But
that's good strategy.
Right, and Moundsview's offense certainly not built to go long distances in a short span of time.
And Smestead takes the handoff, cuts in, fumble. The Ponies say they have it, and they do.
Oh my!
Matt Ogren with the fumble recovery on the 21-yard line.
What a turn of events.
With 1:44 remaining here in the 4th quarter. This is exactly what the doctor ordered.
2-yard carry for Smithstad. He's very secure with the ball. It's the first fumble on the night for either team, and what a big play by Ogren is now Stillwater right on the doorstep with plenty of time and 3 timeouts.
So maybe the 4th turnover by Moundsview will be the ticket for the Ponies. Tillett to Roth. Left side. Gets inside the 20. So that's going to be a gain of 1 for Clay Roth, who comes in for Stillwater, number 28. He's a senior, not big in stature, 5'7", 155. As we're coming up to 1:15 remaining in the ball game, I formation. Tillett, hands off. Roth, right side, manages to get a couple.
And I think Moundsview is going to have to start using timeouts on defense.
And that is exactly right. Moundsview takes their first timeout here in the second half. Let's do the same. Let's step away for 30 seconds. It's 14-14 with 1:03 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Stillwater and Moundsview on Club 1220 KLBB.
Ed Simonette was once a member of the Stillwater Ponies himself, and Ed is still involved in the Stillwater community where he practices law today. If you have a legal concern, Ed Simonette is the person to see. Ed specializes in criminal law, personal injury, wrongful death, and family matters. Call Ed at 651-439-5875. That's 651-439-5875. Remember, for all of your legal concerns, call a person who cares and can help. Ed Simonette, attorney at law in Stillwater.
You're Welcome back to Stillwater Pony Football on KLBB AM 1220 Stillwater.
On Club 1220 KLBB, 1:03 remaining. Here we go, 3rd down and 7 for Stillwater on the Moundsview 18-yard line. Clay Roth, he's stuffed up at the line. Looks like it's going to be no gain on the play, and Moundsview is going to take their second timeout of the half. And so with 57.2 32 seconds remaining here in regulation. It brings up 4th down.
Be about a 35-yard field goal attempt. You mentioned, Tim, Danny Laudette has struggled from longer distance. This is certainly well within his range, probably about a 35-yarder.
It's within his range. He's just hasn't found the straight on. It's been right, it's been left. He certainly hasn't been short. I mean, that last one, what was that, 57?
It was a 54-yarder, and it probably went 50, so it wasn't off by much.
So he certainly has the leg. It's just a matter of the accuracy. And now Mounds preserving time on the clock in the case that Laudette does hit this field goal. So what happens now if the ball's inside on the 18? If he kicks it and misses it, is it still a touchback and they get up to 20, or do they still get at the 18?
Well, yeah, it'd be about a yard. That's a good question. I would imagine it's still back at the 20, but hopefully for Stillwater's sake, they'll make it a moot point.
Till it to hold. Snap. Kick is up. It is good! Danny Laudette from 35 yards out have given the Ponies a 17-14 lead with 54 seconds left. That's the first field goal made for Danny Laudette this season, and it could not have come at a bigger time.
And the plus here for Stillwater with Laudette's leg, you don't have to try a squib kick to where Moundsview might be able to get it at the 30 or somewhere further up. You can try and kick it deep and hopefully have Moundsview go from the 20 to try and get maybe a tying field goal attempt.
So after the fumble by Smested gave the Ponies excellent field position, they're able to convert it into a 3-point field goal. A 35-yard field goal by Danny Laudette with 54 seconds remaining here in the 4th quarter. But Moundsview still has time on the clock and 1 timeout to use to march down the field and potentially get a game-tying field goal or a touchdown. This one is certainly far from over.
And now Moundsview has put Max Knutson back on the kick return along with Olateju, so a dangerous man back there.
Let's see if Laudette can kick this into the end zone. It's high and driving. It looks like it will be. Yes. His foot. Oh, they're going to say no.
Yep.
Whoa, it looked like his foot was on the back line.
The referee was right there, and Knutson knew where his placement was, and you could see it was a smart move on Moundsview's part. They snuck in Knutson just before the kickoff, and it turns out to be an astute move as Knutson returns it out to the 39.
Did it not look like his left foot was on the end line?
The back judge had an awfully good view of it, so and Knutson did jump up a little bit to make sure he had a good shot at it and ends up returning at 39 yards.
So it's out to the 39-yard line, 46.4 seconds remaining. Knutson split out wide right, Tolson under center. Back to pass. You know who he's going to pass to. Just cover him. And that's incomplete. Looking for Knutson. They actually had 2 DBs over there, Ron Portal as well as Connor O'Neill, the safety.
41 seconds left here in regulation. Stillwater leading by 3. The Mustangs do have 1 timeout left. 2nd and 10. Again, their offense is not geared to get big chunks of yards at a time. But if anybody can do it, you'd figure it'd be Knutson.
41.3 seconds remaining. 2nd down and 10. Ball is on their own 39. Tolson is under center. Smested goes in motion right. Back to pass, looking right. Pressure from his backside, gets it away.
Knutson dropped it.
In and out of his hands at the Ponies' 48-yard line. Boy, he's going to want that one. The sure-handed Max Knutson drops a big pass right there, which would have been a first down.
And it would have been just on the Stillwater side of the field.
Instead, it's an incomplete pass. 3rd down and 10 for the Mustangs with 37 seconds remaining. Tolson comes in. Knutson comes from the sideline as well. They break huddle. Knutson is split out wide right. Ron Portal goes over for coverage on him.
And lots of safety help as well.
Smested moves over there as well. They're setting up the screen. They get it to Redmond near side. 45, 50, first down. inside Stillwater territory to the 46-yard line, and Mounds View wants to take a timeout. No, they want to spike it. They want to spike it with 27-9. They wind the clock, the chain is set, and Tolson spikes it. 24.9 seconds remaining. The clock stops with first downs, and then once the chains get set up, then they wind the clock once again. That's similar to college rules. And so now Mounds View preserves their last timeout.
Right. It looks like Stillwater might be calling a timeout here on defense. Nope, I guess not.
So here we go. This is turned out to be an excellent finish.
No doubt about it, Tim. And again, we mentioned before, Mounds View has had some kicking troubles. So you figure if they want to try and tie the game, they're probably going to have to get inside the 15.
And they know how to break Stillwater hearts, and they're trying to do it once again. Smestead goes in motion. Knutson wide out right. Tolson looking to pass, and deep downfield. Double coverage. There was contact, but Knutson got all twisted around. Incomplete pass with 17.9 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Tolson put an awful lot on that throw, and I don't know if he was anticipating Knutson being further on down the field, but that's certainly out of his reach.
17.9. It's 3rd down and 10. For Mounds View on the Stillwater 46-yard line. Max Knutson goes out wide right. Aaron Romportal on coverage. They do the same thing with Smestead in motion. Tolson rolls out right. They're running just the same plays. And it is, they going to call that caught?
Yep.
They do. Reception at the 33-yard line. So that's a first down. Clock stops with 11 seconds as they move the chains. Now they wind it, and Tolson spikes it. 8.6 seconds remaining. They still have one timeout, so you still, it's a very long field goal. I don't know the leg of their kicker. Probably not in his realm right now.
Right.
So with 8.6 and a timeout, I think they can do pretty much whatever they want.
Sure.
Throw a pass in the middle just like they did to Smestead. I wouldn't be surprised to see something similar to that. Get them down into the 20 to 15 yard range, where then it'd be a 37 to 32 yard.
You would think it'd be certainly more makeable there, as Stillwater coach is having a conversation with the official. I'm not sure if they're wondering if Mounds View was set before they snapped the ball. It certainly looked like they did.
I think they're putting time back on the clock. I think they're saying 10 seconds here.
Right. It was at 11 when they started the clock back up.
10.
So as they
10 seconds.
As they get everything squared away here, 10 I think, Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to go with 10 seconds. .0. As you can tell, both Stillwater sides kind of on edge right now. They're just holding their breath. They can't wait for the clock to tick off very fast. As here we go, Tolson under center, Knutson right. It's a quick pass to Knutson out to the right. They keep him in bounds.
Yeah, and also you wanted to try and get out of bounds, but they call timeout just in the nick of time with 2 seconds remaining. And the kicker that we received in the pregame listing is the quarterback, Alec Tolson.
And they have the ball spotted on the 26-yard line, so this would make about a 43. This is for all the beans. 2 seconds remaining here in the ball game, as Stillwater certainly has a timeout if they want to try to freeze Tolson here.
And I've seen reports on that, and it's really 50-50, so it makes the fans feel better if you try to ice them, but then also you ran into the situation Miami and the Jets last week, to where Miami called a timeout. They blocked the kick, but the timeout was before the kick, so then the Jets got a second chance at it and made it to win in overtime.
Yeah.
But this would be about a 38-yarder. Actually, no, this is from the 26. So this would be about a 43-yarder.
A 43-yarder as they're going to put a couple seconds back on the clock. I think they're going to put it up to 4. So here we go, the Stillwater crowd on their feet. As Alec Tolson from the far right hash. And here we go. And
Stillwater is going
to take their timeout. Be sure to stay tuned after our coverage here at Pony Stadium. On the bottom of the hour, we'll join Ryan Phelps and the crew on Minnesota Sports Radio as they bring you scores and highlights of Suburban East Conference play, as well as coverage throughout the state of Minnesota. That comes up at the bottom of the hour right here on Club 1220 KLBB. In the meantime, we've got a heck of a one coming to an exciting finish here, Jerry. We have 4 seconds remaining. Stillwater, they kicked a 35-yard field goal that gave them the lead, about 51 seconds ago, after a nice return by Mounds View, bringing it out to about, I think, the 46, was it? 41.
40-yard line, and then now Mounds View working it down with a few pass plays. And a 43-yarder.
So here we go, Alec Tolson from the far hash. The kick is up and blocked! And the game is over! And Stillwater is victorious tonight! They go onto the field, and they mob at about the 40-yard line. And this is the biggest victory by far here tonight as the Stillwater Ponies, who have upset the number 4 ranked team in the state of Minnesota, the Mounds View Mustangs, and now they have a share of the Suburban East Conference lead at 4-1.
And one too many mistakes by the Mounds View Mustangs, and from an unlikely source, Austin Smestad, who had a good game, going up to that last play where he fumbled, and Stillwater turning it into a field goal, which turned into the winning margin. And again, 43-yarder for Tolson. That's probably at the end of his range, and so you're going to have to try and get it as the line drive, and nice block by the Stillwater special teams as they go to 4-1 on the season and give Mounds View their first loss. And that'll certainly make things interesting for the rankings for the section, as what was a good position for Mounds View now is going to be quite a logjam, you would figure.
Well, hold that thought, Jerry, as we're going to take a timeout. Once again, the Ponies victorious tonight by the score of 17-14. The Ponies improved to 4-1. Mounds View drops to 4-1. We have complete coverage coming up after this timeout. You're listening to Pony Football on KLBB.
Tailgate checklist. Cooler? Check. Chips? Check. Hot dogs? Check. Stillwater Ponies hoodie? Check. Insurance from the McGarry-Carney Agency? Check. This season, protect your team with insurance from the McGarry-Carney Insurance Agency and Auto Owners Insurance. The no-problem people. Call the McGarry-Carney Insurance Agency at 651-439-6345. That's 651-439-6345. For more than 100 years, the McGarry-Carney Agency on North Main Street in Stillwater. Did you know that Cox Motors has over 200 new and used vehicles to choose from? They're your home for guaranteed credit and serving the St. Croix Valley for over 75 years. Cox Motors in New Richmond.
Just off the river, right on the money.
Whatever it is you have, we'll make it all better. At Stillwater Medical Group, we have the expertise to treat a full range of health issues, so you'll feel all better, even faster. Visit us online at lakeviewhealth.org.
Is your current mortgage rate 5% or higher? If the answer is yes, call one of the mortgage specialists at the First National Bank of River Falls and start saving money today. Historically low rates can mean historically high savings for you. And best of all, First National Bank of River Falls is a stable community bank with common sense mortgage lenders. They'll work to give you a mortgage that's right for you and your family for the long term. Don't miss out on this historic opportunity. Call the mortgage specialists at the First National Bank of River Falls today. Equal housing lender.
Welcome back to Stillwater Pony Football on Club 1220 KLBB. It's all smiles here if you're a Stillwater Ponies fan as they come out victorious tonight by the score of 17-14. Moundsview had a chance for a game-tying field goal, a 43-yard field goal, but that was all for naught as it was blocked by Stillwater as time expires, and so the Ponies come out victorious. They improve their record to 3-1, or 4-1, I should say, 4-1 on the season, and Moundsview suffers their first defeat of the season, and they drop to 4-1 on the season as well. Let's take a look at the scoring summary as we go back to the first quarter, as Moundsview gets on the board first. It was a 1-yard run by Matt Harding, capping off an opening drive for Moundsview, an 11-play drive that went 80 yards in 4 minutes and 51 seconds. And with 7:09 remaining here in the first quarter, it was Moundsview 7, Stillwater nothing. Moundsview added to their lead in the first quarter, a 4-yard run by T.J. Horn with 2 minutes and 22 seconds remaining, capping a 4-play, 52-yard drive. And at the end of one, it was Moundsview 14-0. But it was all Stillwater in the second quarter. The first play of the second quarter, it was a 1-yard run by Nick Anderson, capping a 6-play, 80-yard drive, highlighted by a 52-yard run by Anderson that got him down to the 2. He cleaned up his own mess and plunged it in, and the Ponies were down only by 7, 14-7. Then later on in the second, another touchdown run, this time by quarterback Trevor Tillett, calling his own number on a QB sneak, with 7:37 remaining in the second quarter, capping an 8-play, 82-yard drive, and it was tied up at 14. That's how things were going into halftime. No score in the third quarter, and only one score in the fourth, and that came with 54 seconds remaining. A 35-yard field goal by Danny Laudette. That was triggered off fumble by Austin Smestead that put Stillwater in excellent field position. And Danny Laudette, with his first field goal of the season, gave the Ponies a 17-14 lead on the subsequent kickoff. Moundsview returns it nearly out to midfield. They drove all the way down to the 26 with 4 seconds remaining. The 43-yard field goal game-tying attempt was blocked. Game over, and Stillwater victorious 17-14 tonight. I bring in my color commentator, Jerry Otto. And Jerry, what are your overall thoughts here on the victory by Stillwater tonight?
Well, first of all, this is an excellent sign of sportsmanship, and I think you can see the respect between the two teams as they all huddle at midfield here after the game. It was surprising that both defenses really stood tall in the second half. Moundsview just getting 100 yards of offense in the second half, Stillwater only getting 85. For the evening, Stillwater with a close edge, 287 to 276. But the turnovers certainly were the story. 3 interceptions and a fumble recovery by the Stillwater defense. Only 1 interception by the Moundsview defense, and that 3 turnover margin certainly was a big factor in the game tonight. Again, Nick Anderson had an outstanding first half. He still ended up unofficially with 37 carries for 202 yards and a touchdown. But he was kind of wearing out there in the second half, which is understandable, and I think he was still injured a bit from the first half and then suffered an arm injury in the second half. Trevor Tillett made a couple of big throws when he needed to, especially the 17-yarder on third down to Joey Quinn. That was a big play at the time. And you have to give Laudette credit for helping Stillwater win the battle of field position as they continued to keep Moundsview deep in their own territory. And I think that helped lead to the fumble, which led to the field goal by Laudette, this first one of the season. And a very big victory for Stillwater. Next week, they take on a dangerous Eastridge team. Eastridge gave Moundsview all they could handle before the Mustangs kicked a field goal late to win 10-7. And interesting story, this freshman quarterback for Eastridge looks awfully good. And I've heard from a few sources they also have 2 8th-grade quarterbacks. One's a righty, one's a lefty, and they both look good as well. But unfortunately, you only need 1 quarterback per play. But it certainly bodes well for the Ponies going on the road to Eastridge. Have you covered a game there before, Tim?
No, I have not covered a game at Eastridge, and it sounds like there's going to be a lot of coverage as well.
Yeah, like there was here tonight.
For that squad as well. I'm not even guaranteed a seat to sit.
It is an incredible complex, cost over $100 million. They have their own athletic dome, and should be an excellent matchup. Again, now Mounds View and Stillwater tied at 4-1. White Bear played Woodbury tonight, and you would figure that was a pretty close game. We weren't able to get a score here this evening, but you'll hear that afterwards here on 1220. And, of course, Park was beating Cretin early in the first half, 7-0. But, again, Stillwater now will take on Eastridge next Friday, October 5th, and then Roseville will travel here to Stillwater on the 12th. And then the week of MEA break, Stillwater will go down to Hastings. Talk about a road trip. That's an awful long ways away, but an excellent showing tonight by Stillwater, especially their defense and Nick Anderson, and a very big win as they get a little bit of a monkey off their back. Mounds View had beaten the Ponies 9 of the last 10 times.
So as the crowd continues to file out of the parking lot, let's take one more break. We'll come back. We'll summarize it all. Final thoughts. And then we'll hit up with Minnesota Sports Radio at the bottom of the hour. Once again, the Ponies victorious tonight by the score of 17-14. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll take a look at individual statistics and final thoughts after this short timeout on Club 1220 KLBB.
This is Chad Fett of the Trust Department at First State Bank and Trust. We provide a wide array of financial services, including IRA rollovers, estate administration, and trust services for people of all ages.
By the FDIC, are not a deposit or other obligation of or guaranteed by the depository institution, and are subject to investment risk, including possible loss of the principal amount.
Knows the value of youth sports in a community. We enjoy an excellent quality of life here in the St. Croix Valley, thanks in part to programs like Pony Sports.
Trade-in bonus. Trade in your current Buick and get $500 additional towards Buick's award-winning 2012 vehicles. Fun at thousands less than the imports. The all-new Verano brings precision handling and classy comfort to the compact market. And don't forget the ultimate crossover, the 2012 Buick Enclave. Buick drivers get more with a $500 trade-in bonus at Stillwater Motors, Highway 36 and Stillwater Boulevard. Online at stillwatermotors.com. Verdun's family owned and operated since 1922.
Stillwater Motors, good people to know.
Welcome back to Stillwater Pony Football on Club 1220 KLBB. I'm Tim Daigle. Alongside me, Jerry Otto, along with Eric Ekstrand of Central Media Services, bringing us the video portion of our online stream tonight. You can go to klbbradio.com or poniesfootball.com to watch the video and audio streaming of tonight's game. I know we archived some as well, so if you didn't catch the complete game here tonight, or maybe you had to catch some late dinner, had to take care of some things around the house and you missed something, well, you can always watch the archives at poniesfootball.com. Once again, the Ponies victorious here tonight by the score of 17-14, and I know, Jerry, you had done some unofficial stats here tonight. Can you give some generalities of how the players performed?
Sure. Again, the second half, both defenses really doing a nice job. For the game, Mounds View 136 yards rushing, 140 passing for 276 total yards. Stillwater 210 yards on the ground, 202 of that coming from Big Nick Anderson. 77 through the air for 287 total yards. Only 3 penalties on the game. An extremely clean game on both sides of the ball. There were a couple of hits that were unfortunate, one on Fredrickson and a couple on Nick Anderson and also on Rick, but hopefully they'll be all right. Trevor Tillett for the evening, 4 for 13 for 56 yards. Nick Anderson, 1 for 1 for 21 yards on that option pass to Chris Rick. Trevor Tillett did have 1 interception on the night. As we mentioned, Nick Anderson, 37 carries for 202 yards and a touchdown. Clay Roth had 3 carries late for 5 yards. Mounds View, Mitch Fredrickson on the evening was 6 for 11 and did have the 2 interceptions. Alec Tolson coming in to replace him. Started to do better later on in the game, but all in all, he was 4 for 9 with the interception. Max Knutson was held more in check than most teams have done this year. Knutson did have 6 receptions on the evening, but it only got him 67 yards. Jeremy Redmond, 2 catches for 61 yards. Smaystad, 2 catches for 19. Jeremy Redmond had 8 carries on the ground for 27 yards. TJ Horn, 13 carries, 37 yards. Austin Smaystad did have the best night, but unfortunately had that fumble late, which really hurt the Mustangs. 8 carries for 57 yards. But again, all in all, the Stillwater defense doing a very nice job both against the run and the pass.
Yeah, Stillwater's defense certainly is getting stronger as the season progresses. I think against Woodbury, they gave up some pretty big plays to Karan Al-Hamid, their really dynamic running back. Then you saw against White Bear, that was a tight game in the first half, but they kind of broke away from White Bear. And then the total domination against Forest Lake. They struggled against Cretin as well, but I think throughout the season the defense certainly has gotten stronger. And then you look at the offensive side of the ball, and I think it's just really injuries at this juncture now. You know, they're 4-1, big victory against Mounds View, but you saw Nick Anderson certainly wasn't the same at the conclusion of the game. He certainly was getting banged around, and Nate Ritchie, just reading comments from the coach throughout the week, he said, you know, he's questionable. He's kind of a game time. And then at the end of the article I was reading on the Stillwater Gazette written by Stu Grosskreitz, he said, we'll see what Trevor Tillett can do. So basically saying, you know, he's questionable, but I don't think Richie's going to play. And so hopefully this week of rest will allow that ankle to heal.
Right.
And he'll be able to return. Hopefully Nick Anderson, it's just wear and tear, bumps and bruises. You know, running backs, they certainly get punished. Hopefully he'll be able to recover. Nothing major, just maybe some nagging injuries. We'll have to see on that front. I know on the offensive line as well. Didn't see Danny Beege tonight, but Austin Connery was back out there. Derek Thingvold as well, I think, did not play. So some of the offensive line, but they seem to fill in nicely as Nick Anderson had some gaping holes that you could, you know, for lack of better words, I guess, you could drive a truck through some of those holes because they were big, and he was able to exploit them for some pretty big gains in the first half. So overall, I think Stillwater happy, obviously, with the 4-1 record. They go on the road, take on Eastridge. They're 2-2, but they're an up-and-coming team. I think they're certainly dangerous. Then they in 2 weeks they come back home to take on Roseville, and then they finish up with Hastings, who upset Cretin last week, and I think maybe they're an up-and-coming team, so that could be dangerous when you always go down to Todd Field. That's always an interesting venue to play football down in Hastings.
Yep, I'll be covering the Roseville-Woodbury homecoming game for the Roseville Raiders for Comcast in 623 Productions, but I'll see you here in a couple of weeks as the Raiders come here to take on Stillwater. It's been a difficult season for Roseville at 1-3. Hopefully they were able to beat Forest Lake tonight and get back on the winning side of things, and a tough matchup next week against Woodbury. No,
I picked Forest Lake to get off the schneid tonight against Roseville. We'll have to see how they fare. Well, thanks a lot to Jerry Otto. Great color tonight. Thanks to Eric Ekstrand and the crew at Central Media Services. You can learn more about them at centralmediaservices.com. My studio engineer, Angela Marquardt, down at the station right there on Main Street. Myrtle and Main, downtown Stillwater, our palatial studios down on Main Street in Stillwater. Excellent job as usual. Signing off from Pony Stadium on the campus of Stillwater Area High School. Once again, the Ponies victorious by the score of 17-14 tonight. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. Good night.